God, Thor, was actually looking around for a young lady, you see, for, a night of slap and tickle, so to speak. And eventually he found the right one. And he had a night with her of horizontal jogging, shall we say. And going at it like a clap, as you see. And next morning, he thought, well, I better tell the young lady who I am, you see. So when she woke, he said to her, I am Thor. She said, so am I, but it's a lovely night, wasn't it? Yes, there's nothing like a disgusting joke at the beginning of the show, is there? But that's an old one, the Thor one. But behind the bike room, the bike shed joke, that one is, I would say, was it? I would say Springfield Infant School, 1836. Anyway, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting show. And we've got Paul English. Good evening, Paul. How's life?
Evening, Eric. I'm fine, sir. Not too bad. Busy sort of day. Very grey, as you were just saying there, yes. Pre-show and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, not too bad at all.
It got dark early, didn't it, tonight? Because of the cloud.
Didn't it get dark early? Yes, it did.
That's the thing. Anyway, DJ Beto is the first one in chat. And he's the only one remarking in chat. And he said, what is it now? So Herr Starmer is busy at the moment holding Zelensky's hand. So he gets free Coke and Renty boys. Yes, I would, allegedly, it is believed. But yes, he's got very good lawyers.
Yes. And he says, where is he? I thought, where is he? Who's that? This is Zelensky. Isn't he seeing? Where is he? Is he seeing Trump or something, or is he seeing Starmer? What's going on?
I think he's at a Trump, and I think he's. I don't know where he is now. I don't think he knows where he is. I mean, I don't think he knows where he's having putting it bluntly, a crap or haircut most of the time. He's sort of Prime Minister, you having a haircut? Oh dear. Now it's just that, and that creature at number 11 is dreaming up new ways to steal people's assets. Yes, they certainly are.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Isn't it good?
And Sue Sparkle. Hello, Sue Sparkle. Hello, all. It's not dark here. The sun is out. Oh,
it is down south.
Yes, we're in the east side of the posh part of Great Britain, aren't we? And the east side. And, of course, it gets dark early here, doesn't it? Anyway, that's life. We're going to talk about... what was we going to talk about? Shock.
Well, that's a bit of a shock.
Now,
I thought we were going to talk about something else. I'm shocked about that. Yeah.
You're shocked.
Shocking. I am.
And DJ B2 said YouTube has been playing up all day. And yes, and also I'm getting a very low signal strength on StreamYard and YouTube. So if things go titties up, you know the reason why. And I've tried everything and it's still a low signal, sir. Even though my router's showing a very high signal. So don't ask me what's going on.
I'm sorry to hear about your router. It can be a bit painful, that, can't it?
I got the ointment for it, for my router. Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Excellent.
But what I was going to say is the picture on the intro is of the Frankfurt School. There's jolly nice chaps there who used to torture dogs. And
nice.
Hello, Patty. What are you doing at work today? Well, dear, I just tortured a dog. How lovely. Oh, are you going to torture over? Oh, well, I might do later, that sort of thing. What jolly nice people. They're communists, you see. And I'm not going to go too much about communism, but what I am going to say is what people don't realise is that shock is a very strange word because the Eskimos have umpteen words for snow, and we should have umpteen words for the word shock, because shock can be a long-term thing or it can be a short-term thing, and there's umpteen different types of shock. Now, at one time, I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I really did, and I found out I was in shock. Something had kicked some shock. So it's surprising how shock, and it can do some strange things to you. And I believe that what they're pumping out on the media is constant shock. And most of the, shall we say, the truth groups and that, I think they're in shock.
Well, they might be. I suppose, yeah, they probably wouldn't use that word. I think there's definitely, I think we've hit a point, we probably hit it some time ago, where you've really got to ask questions about how useful now the alternative so-called space is. There's definitely still good parts of it, but you've got to be a little bit more discerning, because there's been such a glut, which is good in one way, but there's been such a glut of people sort of piling into the space over the last 4 or 5 years, which is great. It is good. I'm not knocking this, because it's a good sign that people are waking up. But there's now so much material being produced which is derivative, which is understandable, that you don't want to sort of think that you're missing out with a lot of stuff, because much of it really is like a massive echo chamber, and people are getting stuck, I think, again, because, and I include myself in this, by the way, the great temptation is to keep ploughing away in an area that you've grown comfortable in, and you fail to see that we're being called upon to actually take a different type of action now, I think. And we're dealing with that eternal thing, right? Well, now we know far, far more about the problems that beset us. What is it exactly that we're supposed to do about it? And, well, I don't know, but let's study a bit more stuff. You know, that's what's going on with me anyway. I guess I shouldn't project it onto other people.
That's right.
That's kind of what's going on with me.
I'm choosing now what I see. Now, for example, Stephen Truthseeker says, yes, correct, Eric. Some of the truth movement are creating fear. Most, I'd say, you go there and it's just negative, negative, negative all the time. It's like a dog chasing its tail and going all the time. And you can walk away feeling thoroughly depressed. Oh, yeah. Oh. And you look on some of these truth YouTube videos and Rumble videos. Oh, it's really bad. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, what are we going to do about it? Let's think of something positive. What are we going to do, eh?
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, I think we should start putting posters around like this. Hang on. What do you think of this poster? No, not that one. Hang on. I got the wrong one. Hang on. What's going on?
It's a very interesting poster. It's a very interesting
poster.
But
why is it got that one? Hang on. Let's remove that one. That's strange. That should be this one.
What an interesting poster that was.
That was, okay. Yes. Governments are bad for your health. Get help to quit voting. I think that's a good one. And so we should get help, psychological help to quit voting. Some people are addicted to it. It's like I sort of went into Labour and then I went Conservative, like old Farage. They just can't get out of that sort of. No, they're puppets. Doesn't matter who you vote for, they're arseholes. But that's the thing, By the way, do you know
there's so many complications with voting, I think, as well, in a let's call it a mature, diseased civilization as the one that we've got, because huge numbers of people are just shouldn't have the vote. If the vote was to actually carry any weight, shouldn't you have to sit an exam to see whether you're fit to actually cast one? I think you should.
Well, I don't believe in exams.
And I also think that politicians, anybody that stands for election, must pass an exam. There should be a candidates examination board. They've got to show an understanding of the history of the country, what the values are, what they're seeking to maintain. You can't just have any old sort of, you do at the moment. This is why democracy is the preferred tool of the communist, because it destroys anything. It just destroys it.
But did you
it
know? It
opens the gate, says, no, everybody should got to be included. You're all equal. You've all, everybody's vote is the same. Well, it shouldn't be. It's not in a company, is it? If you're in a business and you take people that have just joined the company today and you put them in the position of board of directors, you probably won't have a company in a year's time. Whose fault is it? It's yours for putting them there. It's not theirs.
Yeah. But the thing
don't you think? That pursuit of equality is basically two fingers up at people that are actually have got that meritocracy. We want good people. Of course, the concern that they put out is, you can't trust all these sharp people because they're going to actually filch your pockets. Well, not if we sort it out right. And they didn't always used to do that. Maybe I'm a bit naive, but,
Well, we're under a dictatorship. We have been for years. And all it is that the bankers select who's going to be the best usury scammer for them, and they get into power. It doesn't matter what cross you put on a piece of paper. It makes sod all difference because they've all been traitors, every one of them. So would it make any difference if there was a proper dictator, a real take your pants off dictator type who actually gets things done? you think about it. Right, we abolish usury next week. Lovely. Sort out the banks that week after. Done. Right, lovely. I mean, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, I couldn't give a damn. And I think that would be rather interesting. I'm not advocating a ruthless dictator, but, what does it make any difference whether it's a dictator or what we got? Because let's face it, Keir Starmer is a dictator. Do you think he was honestly voted in? I don't think any of them are honestly voted in. I think that's just a pantomime voting. There's nothing more than that,
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a bit like, it's the challenge of, this thing about turning around ocean-going tankers, those huge ships.
yes.
I always remember when I first heard this, probably as a teenager, how many miles does it take? I mean, it's just huge distance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how big it is. 15 miles? Is it 5 miles or something?
To stop it, takes miles. They've
Yeah.
got to put everything into reverse, and the bloody thing's still going along. Yeah.
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 Well, that's what it's like. That's what our nation's like. It's like that. It's like a tanker, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if all the maniac decisions that are being taken now, they're going to take years to correct. It just takes a long time for it to swing the boat back on track. That's why I suppose this is why a lot of people are to extend this very thin metaphor, jumping ship and trying to get on a dinghy and get off the damn thing, because they can see that, the people on the bridge aren't fit to be there. But it takes you ages to even get a pass to get up to the bridge and smack them in the teeth. So it's a bit of a problem. All the systems are in place to actually stop intelligent responses to situations, and they're all in place to maintain this destructive direction that we're going on, or that we're being taken on. We haven't chosen this, but I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Well, that's
Seagulls have just arrived.
Even I agree. I mean, even the seagulls. But back to shock. You look at the amount of people you walk around. People do seem to be in a shock-like state. They put news on. It's. I mean, whenever you had the news come on, they're saying, "Oh, it's great news. We're going to, I don't know, give everybody free travel in the United Kingdom." I mean, let's face it. If you had debt-free currency, we could do that. And you think how that business would boom if you had free travel? The motorways would empty, roads would empty. No, they wouldn't. They'd fill up because the transport would be so bloody awful. No one would want to use it. But seriously, though, you want to nip down the road and you had free travel. You think, oh, sorry, I'm not even going to start the car up. I think I'll get on the bus. And that's it. Or get on a train or something. There's no ticket booths or barriers to stop. You just walk straight on and catch the next train. That's it. On and off.
Yeah.
And they're doing this in Luxembourg, and they're finding that the country's beginning to boom because holidays, people are going on their holidays, it's not costing them anything to get there. The roads are emptying. So I think it's been talking about free travel, but they say free. Where's the money come from? Well, from the efficacy of the country, because if we had our own bank, then the wealth of the country would stay in the country and not be filtered out to these usury scammers. So it would come back to us. And that's how Gaddafi, he could give his people so much. But, this is the thing. Do you find that, though? People do seem to be in a strange shock-like state. There's something about it.
Yeah, well, I'd include myself, actually.
Yeah.
I'd include everybody here. I think that's the first thing. You've got to sort of take a look at yourself. But yeah, I'm off balance with it all. It's very effective. The reason, well, there are loads of reasons why one feels off balance, but I guess you're often, I think we're wired up, I am anyway, to look around at the people nearby, and I'm looking for a face that's operating in the same way that mine is. Do you know what I mean? Someone whose attitude towards things is pretty similar. I'm finding it very difficult to find them. I know that there's a lot of people who have been sort of semi-woken up, but they're still being very English and very reserved and very quiet and containing their own views all the time. And it's not helpful at the moment because, well, it's not. Although we've had a lot of activity, haven't we, over the weekend, according to certain news sources with marches and flags. It's interesting that we started talking about flags a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And now everything's about, I see nothing but bloody flags. Everybody's being prosecuted for putting up a Union Jack or across the St. George.
Yes.
It's just going on like wild. Flags are bloody important, you see.
Yes.
And they don't like them because they rouse people instantaneously. They really do. They're a shortcut to emotion. and they don't want you getting emotional because you'll be much more difficult to control if you get into an emotional state. That's what they don't want. They want everything sort of, that's what I sense anyway. It's better to keep everybody sort of slightly intellectually hypnotized, as it were. Now think about this for another 6 years whilst we go over here and wreck most. Oh yeah. But you really need to spend your time working this detail out now. And it's that kind of stuff, as opposed to, I think what we're hitting the point where we just want to pick the hammer up and smash the whole workshop to bits. That's really what we've got to.
I mean, what happened to me? I was shocked from something that happened when I was very, very young, and it kept there inside, festering. And then I had another shock, which brought that shock out. So the shock, a double shock, and I really thought I was having a breakdown. I wasn't. And this is how shock works. It's very strange. It did a marvelous thing for me because I feel better now than I've ever done because and I got the right help to get that out. But the thing is that with shock, again, it makes. I mean, during that period of time, I destroyed a lot of things I shouldn't have destroyed, of paperwork and things like that. I was actually really strange, but I now realise what it was. And once you understand yourself, that's what made me think, well, hang on a minute. This seems to be happening. People are acting strange. And it could be part of the old Williams toxic arm brew. Who knows? But people, where I live, I think I'm the only one that hasn't had Williams toxic arm brew. Everybody else has. And people are starting to get it.
I've got a few around me that haven't had it, I suppose.
Really?
It's difficult to know. Yeah, I've got a few around me, but many have. It's just, it's really difficult, isn't it? I just think it's difficult to actually break people's compliance with authority and the convenience of being compliant with it. But we're definitely getting there. I mean, it's getting hairy. I got a picture sent today of, where was it? Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham. There's some Pakistani. The mayor is a Pakistani or some elected official. They took down the Union Jack. They're flying up a Muslim or a Pakistani flag there, right? But flags are not important. This stuff is not good. It's really, really not. I don't know what other words to use because we'll run out of adjectives. It's not good. And there's a lot of talk, obviously, about illegal immigration, as there should be, but that's not really the main problem. The main problem is all immigration into these nations by people that ultimately will not conform to the way that we live. I actually think that that's right. They shouldn't conform to the way we live. And the best way to not conform to it is to not live here.
Yes. Yes.
Now I get now the knock on the door's coming.
Yes.
You see, so they're stopping us talking. If they can make it a criminal offence to talk about defending yourself, you can't defend yourself, and that's really what they're seeking to do. Slowly but surely, strip away all these sentences that you would use, attitudes that we would take, demonise you. I was thinking about this term extremism the other day, and it taps through into Orwell's thing as well. If you are what's that thing? In a time of deceit, telling the truth is the ultimate, I'm paraphrasing, the ultimate act of rebellion or something like that. And we are living in that time. So an extremist now is anybody that seeks to tell the truth.
That's right.
If you're a truth teller, you're an extremist.
But,
because
sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there.
No,
it becomes like a magma chamber of a volcano, and you can't suppress people for long. It builds up and builds up and builds up, and it'll blow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul. I stopped you midstream there, but carry on.
No, you didn't. No, it's fine. I think it's just it's this control of language and all this kind of stuff. And I know we're kind of going over the same ground, but basically we've got to keep going over it until we actually find some kind of depth charges or the things that we need. I actually sat down today a bit earlier today, around about lunchtime, Eric, and I thought I'm going to write a speech for the political party that doesn't exist, but that you may wish did exist once you've heard what it has to say.
Oh, excellent.
Well, I wish it was. I'm finding it really difficult to write it because every sentence I wrote, I thought, that's imprisonable. Seriously, I found it really difficult. I know what I want to say. I was thinking as well that if you were to write the most extreme policies you could, right? So whatever anybody envisages about the far right, because there's no such thing. It's all moved left anyway. The far right now is what the centre was in the 1960s. I mean, it's just a nothing burger. No one's actually expressing the sort of authoritarian structure that we as Western Christian people want, we're quite happy with it. You know, we're not happy with fascist dictatorships. They are a concern. They're a worry. Unless you get a benign dictator, it's a bit like. But that's a bit like saying, do you get a benign king? Well, we have had them in the past. But if, you know, I was writing these things out and I thought, well, that's what we need to do. I need to write a policy document. Look at me. Yes. It's like pathetic, isn't it, in a way? A manifesto that is so extreme. And I started writing this down and it gave me a lift. And I'm going, whoa, watch this. I bet everybody listening here could write one. I want you to think of everything that you want, start writing it down, and after 2 sentences, you're going to go, oh, I'm not allowed to say this. The self-censorship thing is going to kick in, right? Because they've been spreading it through the space for donkey's years. But the truth is, like I was saying, it's all immigration into this country is not wanted. All of it.
I agree.
It's never been wanted for the simple reason, not that we hate those people, but because we know it doesn't work. And it can't work for both groups. Which is
we love
the
those
plan.
people.
It can't. Yeah.
You see, this is the thing. It's cruel to be kind in a way. We love these people with their culture. And this is why I want to preserve people's culture. I like people's culture. If I go to another country and I'm welcomed as a guest, I want to see their culture. I don't want to see a good mishmash of everything else. If people and I was speaking to I think it was a Bulgarian chap, and he said, what's happened to the Englishman with a bowler hat, umbrella and suit? He said, I came over here expecting to see that, and I haven't seen one.
It's the bowler-hatted farmer, isn't it? Isn't it the bowler-hatted farmer?
Bowler-hatted farmer, yes, there's bowler-hatted farmer. But you know, when you think about it, this country has gone from one traitor to the next, hasn't it, really? And we don't say anything about treason. But under the English Constitution, did you know that there is a constitution, an English Constitution, and I'm paraphrasing it now, and apparently it's to be a minister or monster, your parents and grandparents have got to have been born in this country, and they've got to be Christian. But they've ignored the English Constitution, not the British one, the English Constitution. And that was
I want to reassert it. You know, I want to reassert these things verbally and in writing. Like when I was saying, just writing out these sort of policy documents, okay? And I mentioned earlier, even before we got into this, I was saying, who should have the vote? We did that joke show, didn't we? It wasn't really a joke. There was a serious point to it, you know, a few months ago, like women should not have the vote. It was or something like that. It was meant to be contentious.
Yes.
Yeah, it was intended to be that
but
way.
Your neighbour's
to be a whine.
But your neighbour's dog can have the vote if it's a terrier or something like that. You know, we could have that sort of thing. Yes. Or
but if it's worth something, let's assume that it is, and I don't even fully go in for all this kind of stuff, but if it is, you should have to sit some kind of an exam to see if you're fit to cast it. That's the first. Why should it be open to everyone? You know, people say, well, this is how you create freedom. It isn't. It's how you create slavery, because you get enslaved to the lowest common denominator where people are pushing everything out. You know, the idea of the Christian and moral ethic is there as the safeguard. It's actually a lot more than that, but I'm just phrasing it that way. I think most of our people do behave decently towards one another. I've never really experienced it any other way, to be quite honest. The vast majority of people, most of us, I suspect, meet in our lives are good. They mean to be good. They're under a lot of pressure. They're having their pockets picked 24/7, and they don't want any more trouble. And I understand it, but unfortunately, that as a stance is not going to really see us through this. And I'm all for peace and everything. It's just that there's other groups that aren't.
I agree.
Or someone tell me that I'm wrong. Someone say, no, they're all for peace, just as long as it's on their terms and they're on top and they're making all the decisions about how this nation's managed. Well, that's not acceptable.
A piece of this and piece of that and piece of the other. You see, the thing is...
That's right. It's not acceptable because it's actually a lie as well. I heard, who was that guy? That conservative guy. Oh, he was a bit odd. He had a bald head. He's still kicking around. He's got a double-barreled name. Do you know the guy I mean? He was kind of high up. Didn't he become leader of the party for a bit?
Hang on a minute. He looks a bit like Lord Snooty.
Sort of. I've forgotten his bloody name now.
His nanny gave out leaflets, didn't she? She helped
Something like that.
Yes.
Anyway,
Hang on,
he was
Ian-
making
Ian
some
Duncan-
speech.
hang
That's
on,
it.
Ian Duncan
Fantastic.
Smith.
Thank you, DJ B2. Ian Duncan Smith. Brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
Oh
talking.
no,
I
not
heard
him.
a clip.
Yeah, sorry, he didn't hand out. His nanny didn't hand out leaflets for him. Sorry, I was thinking of someone else. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
All
Paul.
right. Oh, he's just mentioned William Hague. I'm beginning to feel a bit sick now, DJ B2. That's two in one go. Oh, dear, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yes,
But no,
yes.
Ian Duncan Smith was talking and just coming out with what he thought was good stuff, but it still is pulling back from the main issue. They're always doing it. And what was he saying? I heard this clip and he's going, well, he said the illegal immigration, the gist of it was this, the illegal immigration, he said, but what we've not done is we've not worked hard enough to integrate these people into our society. That's just the most stupid thing you could possibly say. It's not possible to do it. It's not. Why would it be possible? Who on earth are people to think that they can correct thousands of years of cultural relationships between one race of people with another? It's completely asinine. And it's to do with buying into this stupid idea that we're all going to come together and love one another. Well, good luck with that.
It does.
It
never does.
It's self-evident that you're not. And you see, the enlightened ones, the liberals, the ones that have had a cushy life, who've got plenty of money, had lots of thinking time, they create these elevated thoughts. Well, that's fine. But what they do is they then apply them to people who have been in a much tougher situation in life. And they say, you're all going to conform to my dreamscape about how the world's going to be. And those of you that don't conform to it, we're going to put you up against a wall and shoot you. And I've said this before. The irony of that is completely lost on them. They just don't get it.
Well, it's all
like anybody
communism.
that's... Of course it is.
Isn't it? And when
Yeah.
you think about it, I mean, there's this energy board that's putting out that we're going to have nice green jobs.
Yeah.
And we have electric cars. Yeah, what are going to? How are they going to be powered when you're kicking, closing down all the coal-powered stations? And China's opened up loads of coal-powered stations. Silly windmills, because silly windmills only provide a very small percentage. I think it's 1% or something of the energy needs. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. But these people are the same people that were like the Bolsheviks, like Mao, where they come from cities. They live in a theoretical world and they're trying to tell practical people, they're impractical people, and they're trying to tell practical people how to do their jobs.
Yeah.
And this happens time and time again. And they're talking about, we're going to have, meat-free, plant-based food. Yes, if you have meat-free food, as that famous doctor I mentioned her last night said, people will become extremely aggressive when they don't have meat. Seriously.
Yeah.
And vegans have ended up not the ones that you see sitting around a campfire in this country, but there was a tribe on an island that was vegan, and they ended up cannibalism because they're so desperate for meat. They got very, very aggressive. This is the thing. It makes people aggressive. This is why these lefties with the multicoloured hairs and rings in their noses and lips and Christ knows what, that's why they're so aggressive. They're vegans.
They're in a kind of vegan shock, are they? That's how it takes...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about vegetarians. That's different. Vegetarians do have protein from eggs and things like that. And some vegetarians eat fish. But you see, the thing is that, I've worked with vegans that have plastic shoes because they won't wear leather shoes and things like that. So they're walking around with foot problems because of these bleeding plastic. Don't allow your feet to breathe and things like that. But, but you see, the thing is, people are frightened to talk about race. And when they say all about race, they always bring in the word hate. No, it's love. We love other races. We don't hate other races. And we want them to do well in their culture and in their race, as well as us do well as well. And
I don't know whether I wouldn't go so far as to say love or hate, really. I think that they've been chosen, those words, intentionally to create a contentious friction, to divide, right? You either hate them or you love them. Well, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's respect for the laws of nature. That's what I'm out for. The laws of nature can be seen. The animal kingdom behave in line with them. And we're just going back to Muhammad Ali's speech. It's spot on.
I just
all
thought
these
about
different
that.
sorts of birds but the bluebirds want to be with the bluebirds. The eagles want to be with the eagles in the mountains. It's just nature. It's the way it is.
It is.
So it's obvious that the whole idea of equality and communism is a state-enforced, i.e. a cartel of men, a mafia of men and women, regrettably these days, involved in pushing an agenda that runs counter to the laws of nature, and therefore it can't succeed without tremendous violence. And that's what we're enduring right now. We are on the receiving end of violence right now. We are being violated. We're not, there's nothing constructive coming out of this. This is all about destruction. Violence is about destruction, and it's about denying one or more parties in the process any voice to actually bring that destruction to an end. And so it's completely intentional, but people are not using the right language, I would suggest. The fact is that the government of this country is not the government of the people of this country, and it is violating the people. It's conducting a campaign of violence against the very people that have elected it. And it's intentionally splitting people in two. And you've got all these dupes who are still addicted to this idea that we're supposed to allow everybody into the nation, and somehow this process can go on infinitely, and if you're not happy with it, you're the problem for being unhappy. There is no consideration given for the reasons why, and I don't think that's difficult to work out, because once that conversation were to start, if you were to get it going, it wouldn't take very long, i.e. under a minute, to see that their entire ideology is completely founded on total idiotic assumptions, and they don't want to find that out. They don't want that conversation to get rolling, to discover that their dream, and they're asleep as well, because you've got to be asleep to be in a dream. Their dream is one of the most dangerous things ever, because it appears to be the most wonderful, and they've been suckered. This wonderful, naive, childish, silly thing that doesn't take into account the actualities of life is what's causing all the problems. And I'm sure that's part of it. That's why you can't communicate with these people, particularly if they're vegans as well. They're just going to froth at the mouth. So the whole idea of some sort of like sensible discussion space where someone, that you never hear them on the other side going, you know what, I'd never really thought of that before. You're right. You never hear that. Well, you never hear a conciliatory remark. You never hear a kindness being expressed. You never hear graceful language. It's always thumping, and we're absolutely right. That's the hidden sort of thing, and you're totally wrong, and we're going to bring this around. You're so wrong that we're going to use every technique possible, including lying, deceit, causing wars to bring it about. And that's exactly what they do.
Well, I've got a heck of a lot of respect for Muhammad Ali, because when he spoke, and I still think he was done in because he was saying too much truth. And I remember him on the Parkinson show, and he absolutely metaphorically ate Michael Parkinson and spat out the sharks. And Michael Parkinson, what he had to say, he just collapsed. And I've often said, if I was at a dinner party with fictitious people who are dead or alive, I'd have Muhammad Ali sitting at that dinner table with me. I think he'd make a very good guest. And who else would you?
If you wanted to be there, he'd probably rather be with his own folks doing something else. But if you wanted to, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you make an interesting conversation. Who else would you have around there? Someone I think I could mention, but you need an interpreter because he didn't speak German, but I won't mention his name. And somebody else, who else would I have there? Yes, I'm just trying to think. I'd probably have someone like the current Prime Minister, so I can throw something at him. Take that, you bastard! Boom! Get me custard straight in the eye, But anyway, let's cheer things up a bit. Do you like postcards? Do you like postcards?
I love a nice postcard, Eric. Yes, well, I love a postcard.
I love this. This is a beautiful, innocent family postcard. No, hang on. What's the matter with this bloody thing? It keeps going wrong. Here it is. Now, what do you think of that? Isn't that a lovely, lovely, lovely family postcard? There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, there isn't. I think they've obviously gone to the wrong location, or something's gone strangely wrong, and that might explain why he's got that funny look on his face. The guy on the left.
Yes. It's a bit of a bum place, isn't it? But so there we go.
It is.
Yes, I think Elton John owned that place. earlier. So there we are. They probably went for the opening, you know. So there we are. I had to put that up. But no, it's funny with postcards though, because people always like to show off where they are. You know, really, do I really want to know whether someone is having a good time in Mallorca or south of France or somewhere? Not really. No, I couldn't give a shit.
Don't you think mobile phones have kind of killed all that off? They have. People just make a live call, pick their camera up and just say, look, it's like this on the beach this morning. And you're sort of there. It goes.
Yeah.
All of that sort of waiting, the anticipation of getting the report. Although there is a good thing. You're not going around to Uncle Joe's to see the holiday slides. Oh, that was never fun.
Oh, that would be the greatest torture ever. You know, you will face 1 hour of washing holiday slides, and you will tell us the truth. No. Oh, and
we're going around to see their holiday movies. Don't you want to come? No. Oh, come on, Paul. Come. It'd be fun. No, I'd rather not.
My sister and her husband used to do that.
Well, what are you going to do? You're only going to stay at home and read a book. Yes, that's right. Is that okay? Oh, you misery. Come on, it'll be great. They went to Torremolinos, did they? Right.
That's on the beach. Oh, it was really hot that day, and But the best one though is: have you ever had bragograms at Christmas?
Say that again.
A bragogram. Now, what a bragogram
sounds like a skin complaint or a mole or something.
What it is it come from America. And where's Patrick? You probably knew I was going to say this. The Americans started this off, where you said what all the marvelous things you've done over the past year, and then you had and then you photocopied this thing that you've written, and you send it to everybody. And my cousin, who's money and misery, because he would actually say to you, well, I've got a better car than you because I've got more money than you. It's just like Harry Enfield character, you know, because I'm infinitely richer than you. I think it was based on him. He had no embarrassment about saying it. And he used to say, went to the south of France, as you do. We went to shopping in Paris. Then we went back and bought a hamper in Harrods. And there's all this show off. So I did a show off one, taking the piss. And I said, well, you know, I went to Poundland, as you do, to buy you a Christmas present. And I was throwing money around, you know. I spent at least £2, you know, all this sort of stuff. I didn't get it. I haven't seen him for 15 years, and I haven't heard from him for 15 years. So I'm pleased about that. I wonder why, but what an obnoxious character. And all the time, when you see him, it's always sort of looking up and down, sort of, how much money you got. Money. And you've never met such a miserable person. You know, he's like Alan Sugar, like all the time. You know, and it is what you call a super duper booper. You know, everything. His wife was on HRT. He'd had a vasectomy, and you name it. And I bet you he was the first in the queue to have the old in the arm. I can guarantee it. Oh, another one is he used to brag about raising money for charity. Oh, whoa, I got the street to cough up. Yeah, he didn't cough up. So he raised his money for charity, yet at my mother's funeral, when my father was in a wheelchair, he ignored my father because he's in a wheelchair. He wouldn't speak to someone that's in a wheelchair. It really upset my dad.
Right.
He went hello, looked him up and down and just walked off. And not really nasty piece of work. But all the rest of the family were all, hello, all round him. I wasn't. That's the reason
it's all for charity, mate.
It's all for charity. Yeah.
It's all for charity. Yeah, that's great, mate. And all for charity. So
yes.
Yeah.
And also the bullshit. I used to call him Pravda because all he heard was the good news. Well, I bought a motor, you say, as you do, yeah. And it was a top of the range Merc. And 3 years later, I sold it for more money than I paid for it. Bullshit. And all the time it was bullshit all the time. And but I'm sure Harry Enfield based his character on him. Positive, you know. So yes, we live in interesting times. Have you got any relatives like that? Have you got very nice relatives?
I don't know. I don't ever remember having relatives that I didn't like. All my mum's brothers and sisters were pretty good, actually.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
It was next door neighbours' holiday films. It wasn't actually relation. It's sort of like, oh, we're going round to so and so's. Do you want to come and see their holiday thing? No, I don't really want to do that.
No.
Oh well, that's okay. That kind of stuff. But no, my dad was an only child, so no sort of aunts and uncles on that side. But on my mum's, there was just more than enough to make up for it. She was one of 8, so it was absolutely, packed with people, and they were all pretty good. I mean, there were 5 brothers, and 4 of them had been in the war. The other one was too young. He was about 12 when it started, so he was sort of like, because there was quite an age range over the 8, probably about 12 or 15 years, something like that. So he was too young. He was a lot of fun though, and they were all pretty good. Yeah, they were all pretty cool, really. So I didn't have anybody that was miserable, I don't think. I'm sure my dad could probably correct me if he was here. Say, oh no, do you remember this? I go, well, not quite. You're in a child's world really down there, but they were all very kind to me. They were a lot of fun. Yeah, they were great. And
my aunts and uncles were really nice, but it's my cousins that's the problem. I just didn't get on with the cousins. But my aunts and uncles were fantastic. I mean, they had comedians and everything. They were totally different to their children. I don't know quite why their children turned out the way they did. But, but that generation are gone. And what's left, I don't really want to know. So that's basically it. So, and Sodom, But DJB2 says, I have an aunt that's obsessed with bragging about how well my cousins are doing, and I do not give a crap. Yes. I call those people Pravdas, because then you hear the good news. Because the Pravda newspaper was a Russian or a USSR official newspaper. It only gave you good news, isn't it? So, comrades.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, do you remember Soviet Weekly?
Can't say I do, Eric. No, were you a subscriber?
Well, no, you can get it
it's
free.
Here. Yippee.
It's Soviet Weekly. Well, you see.
What was it?
It was propaganda put out by the Soviet Union. And they used to, next to, the the free magazines they gave away at the tube stations.
Big issue.
Pick them up. Yeah, things like that. Well, what was it now? Miss London and things like that. They used to have them on street corners in like little containers, and you can just pick them up free.
Right.
And it's telling you all the good news about how marvelous the Soviet Union is. And they had this bloke, Igor, we used to pick it up for a laugh. We used to read it in the office. And they had a glamorous grandmother competition. So one of the blokes in the office, he had a full beard. We took a picture of him and we entered him, the glamorous grandmother. But I've been using too much hormone cream, comrade. You know this? We wrote a funny letter. and it's blatant funny. And it was a bloke touring around the Soviet Union on his Cossack motorcycle, and you think he goes this next week. Igor goes to some beautiful mountain range. Now you think, is he going to show pictures of the mountain range, the Caucasus, or something like that? No, he goes to a bleeding tractor factory. Here is number 32 tractor factory, standing next to all these fat, overgrown women, and his motorcycle breaks down in West Germany, and it's all this propaganda. Was it the Western people could not supply the beautiful Soviet parts? He had to push the motorcycle back over to East Germany and all this crap. The dissident Western Germans do not have parts for the marvelous Cossack motorcycle. It was a real. We used to be crying with laughter. They didn't, because whoever wrote it, it was written in the Soviet Union. They never visited this country, so we was taking the piss like anything. We used to enter in all the competitions and everything. Yeah, win 300 pounds of tomatoes or beetroots delivered through your letterbox.
You know what, though? I guess thinking about things today, if you had a prize saying win 300 pounds of tomatoes, we'd be all quite keen on that, wouldn't we? If they were fresh produce from the farm. At least they didn't have, I'm assuming what they were, and they probably weren't producing enough on the farms, but what they did produce at least was probably possibly wholesome and not full of agrochemicals, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
weird
Well,
to think that you might look
that's
back
right.
on a period from there and think, well, actually, they had some things actually way better than we've now got because of the way that
right.
everything's been screwed up over here. But yeah,
But I missed that. That was a bleeding good laugh. And then I would have thought the MI5 probably thought we were a secret Soviet uh, place or something, because we used to get Sydney Office Junior out to go and pick up a few copies. So at lunchtime we have a bleeding good laugh reading through it. It was Soviet Weekly. It is the best laugh. It is even more funny than Private Eye, and they didn't realise it. It's supposed to be serious, but
well, maybe
Steve-
we need to bring it back. Maybe it needs to
Yeah.
be brought back, comrade.
yeah. Comrades,
don't
yeah. Well, actually, could we have a Force magazine printed by Keir Starmer and just take the piss like that, as if the thoughts of Keir Starmer? I don't know.
The Starmerist.
Starmerist, yes.
The Starmerizer. Yeah.
Now we've got here.
Yeah,
Stephen
what a...
Bruce-
Oh, dear.
Sorry, carry on.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was just going to groan and moan about him again, but I think we all had enough of that. And everybody out there's every time his name comes up, I'm sure there's a collective groan. Oh God, everywhere, So yeah, really. I mean, that what if it was the sound that people make when they hear the words Keir Starmer? That's really
It sounds like a disease, doesn't it? I've had a touch of the Keir Starmer. Oh, you haven't, have you? Very embarrassing. Yeah, I've got some ointment for it. It's clearing up a tree, And Steve the Truth Seeker said, I never see my family. I decided to move away 15 years ago. It's funny, it's 15 years with me, yeah. And to be honest, there's not much back there for me. Yeah. I don't have any contact with them. I don't even know if they're alive or dead. I just do not know anything about them. I don't even get a Christmas card, so couldn't care less. Dysfunctional family, this is Sean Hamer. No relation to John Hamer. Dysfunctional family dynamics are an unspoken and unrecognised mega pandemic that has been going on for many years. I agree with you. Yes. But
I guess. Because I saw that Stephen Truth Speaker was saying just in the post above, I never see my family. I decided to move away 15 years ago, and to be honest, there's not much back there for me. It's strange. It's funny. I just had nothing but a good time with my family all the time. I actually feel bad about not going back often enough. When I moved down to London in 1984, I was so taken up with a new sort of way of life that I was only going back like once a year, and it wasn't often enough. I should have been going back. I regret that. You shouldn't have regrets, but you do. But you're kind of headstrong when you're in your 20s and when you're broke, which was, and you're working like man. You go, I can't even afford to get on the train and go up and all this kind of stuff, and all that was going on. But yeah, I never had. So it's difficult for me to relate to all that. It sounds as almost, I won't say it was perfect, but it certainly didn't have any major frictions. There weren't any. In other words, I'm finding it really difficult to point to major problems or issues I ever had with my parents. I didn't have any at all my entire life.
No,
they were absolutely fantastic. And I'm going, and I just thought everybody was like that. But of course, as I went to school and was with lads who, there was somebody's parents got divorced when I was about 17, and this was I just couldn't even understand it. I just didn't even know. You don't do that. Well, that's silly. What are you doing that for? Oh, she's found another man or he's found another woman. I'm going, what are they even looking for? I don't get it. I had just very direct view about the whole thing. I still do, I suppose.
I'm the same.
No, you made your choice. Tough. You can't do that.
Generally, I mean, I had issues with my mum. I didn't get on with mum very well, but my dad, I was quite close to. But my uncles and aunts, they made my childhood because they were always full of laughter and fun. But it's their offsprings that I have a problem with. But I had a great time, with my uncle, comedians and things like that. But that all sort of ended all of a sudden when they started to die off and get old and die off. And then the whole family changed, and that was it. So it's the younger ones I don't have any chat with. I don't really want to know.
Are you horrible? You're such a horrible person, Eric.
Yeah.
Well, what's that thing? I mean, they say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And at first blush, that sounds pretty good. But I also noticed that I used to choose friends, and so did other people. And then 4 years later, they'd be unchosen, and you'd be off with another group. People are coming in and out of your life all the way through it, aren't they?
They are.
Right now, I'm not expecting to meet any more new people. This is an insane thought, but I operate like that. I go, well, I've met loads of people. How many more do I need to meet? But I keep meeting them because I go out, you bump into someone throws a meeting, somebody rocks up, you end up talking to them and go, oh, they're quite interesting, or whatever. And they might become part of your life for a few years. And then the reason for you coming together weakens or whatever, and you're onto something else. Well, we're just a bunch of social tarts, really. We just hop around all over the place. We're not meaning to be offensive. It's just that everybody gets bored of one another. Look, I've heard this conversation for the last 16 years. I'm off. I don't need to hear it anymore. I need some different conversations. I don't want to talk about the curtains anymore. Enough curtain talk.
Well, the thing is, remember Les Dawson's famous saying, a friend in need is a pest. I think that sums it up, doesn't it, really?
Yes, good old Les.
Yes, the old Cossack motorcycles. Did I tell you my granddad got dragged off by the Cossacks? He made his eyes water.
Did
he? Yes. Used stolen BMW motorcycle engine blueprints. So BMW engine parts actually fit the Russian motorcycles. So decadent Western engineers could not fix his motorcycle was a complete not a bloody lie then. And we got here, what is it now? The way to make seeing Starmer's face is to imagine his nose and glasses are from the joke shop. Yes. And he went on to say, I'm waiting to see him forget to take them off. Yeah, I agree, yes. What's this, Jojo Gizmo? I saw Stamer at the Labour Party karaoke one night. He was singing, What Kind of Tool Am I?
What kind of tool am I?
Yes.
Beautiful singing voice.
Yeah. Sorry, I do see my sister occasionally, but no. Oh, yeah, it says that, yes. My parents were narcissists. So, yes, that must have been fun.
Okay.
Yes, that must have been real fun. And DJ B to us says, if Starmer keeps hanging out with Zelensky, his nose might fall off like the woman off EastEnders. Oh, yeah, what was that woman? Part of her nose. She's sniffing up some sort of funny powder.
Oh, you know a thing or two. You watched, what's EastEnders then? Oh, I know what it is. Are you looking? It's about those two brothers, those two bald-headed brothers who've never laughed once, isn't it? There's the only clips I ever see of it. They're always sort of growling at someone. What? Everything's deadly serious all the time. There's nothing not serious. It's always serious.
Yes, and the longest I've seen it is when I lost the remote control on the telly, and that must be about a minute. And all it is people arguing with each other.
A bit like us, Eric.
Yes, sort of shouting and hollering, So now, what's this? Sean Hamer says, bring up a picture of him so we can all see his fake nose and glasses. You won't regret. They really do look fake. Yeah, I agree. I haven't got a picture, unfortunately, at the moment, but Keir Starmer does look like he's got a sort of a cartoon face, hasn't he? Doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't look real. It's because he's got his upper lip doesn't move much, does it?
No.
It's dead. He's got a dead upper lip. John Major had the longest. I forgot what it is now. Philtrum. Do you know what your philtrum is?
It sounds disgusting. But did he do his flies up afterwards?
Yeah, no. Your philtrum, because you're on camera, you could actually point out to everybody. It's that stretch. Yeah, that's it. Stretch your skin from the base of your nose to your upper lip. The ravine of whatever it is. That's your philtrum. And remember, John Major's was about 8 inches long, wasn't it? Do you remember it?
Yes.
It really came across in the Spitting Image puppet. It was just huge. Absolutely enormous philtrum. And Starmer's doesn't move, I think. I'm pretty sure it doesn't move much. He's like got a dead upper lip. It's glassy. There's a glassy aspect to him. And he's not capable of sort of socially relating to anybody, is he, or something? He's just basically a sort of a textbook full of sort of pre-programmed orders and can't read what's actually taking place.
He can't read.
I don't know why I'm saying it as if I expect him to. I don't expect him to.
We read people, and there's certain it's like comedians before they go on stage. I remember hearing this. They stand in the wings and they monitor the audience to see what kind of jokes they can say, and a good comedian will monitor the audience beforehand. So the poor sod that goes out first is the one that gets the vegetables thrown at him, and people go boo. Whilst the other comedians are standing back watching points and seeing what kind of audience they are. But whenever I see Keir Starmer, I think of the Viz character Nobby's Piles. He just looks like Nobby's Piles, because you look at him, you can just imagine him having piles.
You can.
That was my point. Yes. He would make a great Viz character, wouldn't he? It'd be Starmer's Piles.
I came across an interesting little post here today on Twitter that's worth reading out. It's not too long, because there's a question at the end of it. It might propel us into something. It's on line with what we're talking about. This is from, I was banging on about that film the other day, Barnum World. I mentioned it. I've been mentioning it everywhere.
Brilliant, yeah.
Really good, isn't it? Yeah. So shout out to everybody here. If you've not heard me promote this, I don't normally promote stuff. This doesn't mean to say that I'm a man of tremendous taste, although of course I am. But it's called Barnum World. You'll find it on YouTube. It's about an hour and 36 minutes long, and it's well worth an hour and 36 minutes of anybody's time. Seriously, particularly you lot. It's wonderful. It's from an American point of view. Anyway, the guy that plays the lead role goes under the name of Lee Gallman, Gaulman, i.e. Legal Man. And his account on X is Legal Man. That's not his actual thing, but you probably find it Legal Man. Anyway, this is a post he put up, I think earlier today or yesterday. He says this. And this sort of comment, by the way, is very much in line with the realistic worldview that's put across by the main character that he plays in that film, which is very dry, but it's brilliant. I loved it because it's just ticks a lot of boxes. So anyway, he wrote this the other day. He says, and it's obviously directed at the US, but it's equally applicable here. Everybody will recognize that. He wrote, "The entire structure of our society runs on endless lies, like the idea that everyone is capable of equal outcomes, and that the reason that some groups do poorly is because they're oppressed in some fashion. That education and credentials are the same as intelligence." Well, they're clearly not, of course. We talk about this quite a bit. That education and credentials mean competence. Well, look at Starmer. He's got them coming out of his ears, and he's not competent at all. That government is a trusted third-party arbiter. That our system of government is the best ever devised. It just needs some oversight and reform, etc., blah, blah, blah. If you dare mention what an open fraud it all is, the people will attack you and call you negative or black-pilled, etc. Those are just the facts, and there's nothing we can do about this situation except accept it and try to live within it best as we can, unless you have a way to unbrainwash hundreds of millions of people. And the question he says then is, do you have a way to do that? Well, dear audience, do you have a way to unbrainwash tens of millions, in our case, of people? Or is it going to just occur naturally because the government's going to get so bad that people are just like going to be, get boiled up to such a degree they actually do rise to the top of the pan and explode? Is there a way to unbrainwash loads of people? I'm hard-pressed to see it. Practically, you could say, well, if we had a certain amount of time and we had these resources, yes, I think you could argue for that. But we seem to be lacking in time, and we're certainly lacking in resources with regards to what the other side's got, which is sort of like, 24/7 mind barrage and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's quite a thing, There's some interesting answers here. Look, the first one's positive. It's quite good. It says, it starts in schools and universities. NGOs and third parties are controlling the public forum in education. True. We must prohibit our children from using devices in classrooms and get them back to using books, paper and pencils. You and I would probably completely agree with all that.
Yeah.
Hidden content and data collection are a means of control now and in the future. Do not allow your kids on devices in school classrooms and prohibit school software at home. And Legal Man replies, you understand that there is no way to do any of that, right? It just proves my point ultimately, unfortunately. And the guy says, I don't agree that it is impossible. And his also very sarcastic response is basically along the lines of, you might want to consider waking up. I don't want to be sort of permanently black-pilled about this kind of stuff. But sometimes I feel as though I'm sort of willfully allowing myself to be positively, optimistically naive that there's a way through. You've got to find a kind of middle ground. Otherwise, you go mad if you go in either direction, I think. If you go black-pilled, you go bonkers. And if you go, oh, it's all going to work out, you're heading for disappointment. There's a middle ground where there's lots of practical actions needed. Someone writes a good thing here, though. They said the young white guys are unbrainwashing themselves. I think they are. A lot of them are. Yeah. Let's be positive here. They are.
A lot of black people are as well. There's a lot of people that are unbrainwashing. And for example, now Paul says we use their systems. Oh, by the way, evening, Paul, for our own benefits, such as using advertising boards to get the truth out. Have you seen that? What people are doing? They're getting their own posters, lifting up the bus shelters, lifting the things up, the plastic covers, and shoving their own posters in there and putting it down. And I've seen that a lot, where and we can just use them, use their facilities to brainwash us, to brainwash. To counter brainwash, so to speak, counter subvert. That's the thing. And I've noticed this mainly when I'm on my bike. When I cycle past bus stops, when I'm in my car, you don't notice it. It's a sort of a blur as you're driving. But when you're on a bike, you have time to see things more. The amount of doom and gloom adverts at bus shelters, cancer. It's all cancer advertising, and apparently the government gives these cancer charities loads and loads of dosh. Quite surprising. A lot of handouts. And you listen to Classic FM, it's nothing but charities and government adverts on there. Very few adverts.
It's all for charity, mate.
It's all for charity. Oh, that's perfect. It's all for charity.
You're very, very good at that. You're too good at that, Eric. That's very, very good. I'm sure they could have had you as a stand-in. You got the toothy smile down pat there. Yeah. Because didn't Paul Whitehouse have a big set of false dentures when he did that?
Yeah.
He did. They were glitteringly wide. Yeah, it's all for charity, mate. Right.
And, acrylic jumpers. That was the other one. The acrylic jumper. It was for acrylic jumpers.
Fantastic. Well, what do we do? Do we form a charity then? Save the white man. It's not in our character to sort of plead for help, is it?
Yeah.
We don't like it.
That's right. I don't like charities. No, I really do not.
No, but we don't want charity either. No. Do we?
No,
we don't want it.
Don't need it.
No, I don't want it. It's just you just go. If we've got to, we're actually. It's like we're not even competent enough to sort our own affairs out without going around. I mean, lots of other groups are quite happy to plead and beg for things. I don't think it's necessary, really. Maybe it's. I mean, I also think it'd send out the wrong signal that there's nothing we can do about it. Well, there is. Do you think that if let's talk about money, lots of it in my pockets. Let's suppose I did have a lot of cash, or someone here did. Suppose a sugar daddy was to arrive in this space. Someone who says, look, I've made all the dosh I need. I can't need anymore. I've got a few million quid floating around. Don't know what to do with it. Here it is. Right? Would that help us? Do you think it would help us? Or do you think it would cause a mess? I mean, I can think of loads of things that could be done. Paul just mentioned there about a poster campaign. I'm for all these sorts of things, yeah? But you'd need full-time staff. I mean, I do think about these practical things. I'm thinking, is it just a series of is it a matter of lining up a lot of practical work steps? I don't think it could hurt. Let's put it this way. I don't think even if it failed with whatever you thought your ultimate objective was, I think it would produce a lot of good stuff. Do we need a professional office, as it were? Look at me talking and stuff. Maybe everybody's getting uncomfortable. Well, who's going to get paid now? How much do they get paid? And all this, that, and stuff. But if you were doing a bit every month and someone said, look, we can't pay you what you're worth. It's impossible. No one gets paid what they're worth. And we can't even pay you for your time. The wages around here have been zero for 25 years, right? But we've now got some money. We can pay you 500 quid a month if you can do, I don't know, this, that, and the other, right? It's not a living wage, but it'll help you, keep up with buying minced beef, which is now £800 a packet or whatever it is, you know. Do you think it would help if there was some money floating around?
It would help, but you see, the thing is, the only way you're going to beat the system is the system's weapon is communication. And they hold all the ace cards because they got the BBC and people still watch it, and the mainstream media. Once you close them down, I mean, you look at these wars, the first places they bomb are the places that are broadcasting. This is what happened in Serbia, in the Balkans War. What did they do? They went across and bombed all the television and radio networks in Serbia, so they couldn't broadcast to the people. Now, the thing is that it's so integrated.
I think what I'm addressing, what I'm thinking here, Eric, is just about consistent effort. Right now, today, there are still a goodly chunk of people that go out and work, right? Many guys got up pretty early this morning, went off, had to do a commute, go off, work for some insurance company or some other thing that they need to do to pay the mortgage. Let's just phrase it like that. But they need to do it. I accept that. I'm not saying they can't not do it, even though it's mad and they're in a system that's abusing them and actually not paying them is stealing most of the money back off them after they've earned it. Let's put it that way. But it's the consistency of effort that is quite interesting. In other words, doing this stuff that we do once or twice a week is a bit of a buzz in a way. It's a treat in a way. It's work as well. I have to fart around and cock it up like I did on Thursday. And the more I look at it, I'm thinking, I really would love to be able to do a lot more, but it gets quite tiring on the mind, particularly when you're sort of scouting stuff and doing things. Yes. And you could say big deal, and it is a big. I'm not moaning about it. I'm just sort of observing it. It's not a whinge. I'm just saying that is kind of what comes with it. But if we were to have some kind of a small crew, I'm just saying, if you put the idea out, you don't know the money might take up, because if you said, look, we've got 3 people in this office and they actually work from 9 till 5, actually a lot longer than that, Monday to Friday, dealing with all this stuff. They have a job list to do. They get all these adverts placed online. We're building our own independent server network. I mean, I was thinking today, people have heard about private membership associations, okay? I'm interested in operating in a completely unique private space, so that, it's not that I want loads of money. It's that I don't want them getting involved in my life. That's what I do. That's what I hate. I hate their brown letters coming through telling me that I'm obligated to some cruddy organization that's part of the bureaucracy because I've got to pay them something for what? I don't like it. I hate it. I really, really hate that. I'm not getting any value here. You're saying, oh, well, this goes to the good of the country, but you're obviously not fit to do that because you're bringing loads of people into my home and you never even asked me. You're being violent towards me. They're like demanding money with menaces. Really?
Oh, well, that's
a crime, isn't it? Isn't that a crime?
It is, and also under false pretenses, because when you look at it, it's look at the Cray twins. They operated a protection racket. What is your local council doing? They're operating the same thing, protection racket, because they're taking money under false pretenses, giving you absolutely nothing back. There's no police. There's nothing like. Roads are very ready swept. There's no sod all, and the government grab that money and just give a little bit back to the council for them to spend, and that's it. And this is why
I agree. I just think it would provide. I'm just making it up here as I'm thinking it through, but it would I think provide focus. I think it's difficult to maintain focus in this communications melee that we're involved in. When you said to me this morning, what are we going to talk about? I said, it's 12 hours to go. Probably about 10,000 stories come through in 10 hours. If you want to go and look for them, there's loads of stuff.
I agree with you.
So you go, and I want to talk about these things. And we've, in a way, like even just referencing that little Twitter feed, I'm doing it because it shows that, he's great, that guy. He's not, there are others as well, but it shows there are others on the same wavelength. That's the subtext of what I said, The content was great as well, which is good. Yeah. But the context is, look, there's a lot of people really clear about this. And it's just his question, right? How would you de-brainwash everybody? And is it a case that if we had a semi-professional situation, and that simply means that money's involved, because when money's involved, you see, and people are getting paid stuff, you can actually lean on them harder. And if you're getting paid, you can be leaned on harder. And sometimes you need to be. Sometimes I need a kick up the arse. And if you're in a team that supports you, people will point that out. And if you're big enough to not start crying about it and say, I'm upset, which is, unfortunately the way it tends to go, oh, you've upset me. It's all like, yeah, you're upset, but we've still got work to do. So you're going to have to just deal with it. Because you remember, we're committed to actually getting this thing done. And sometimes I just think that there's something missing in that way. We're up against all the guys on the other side. They all get paid, right? They don't have the anxieties that you and I have. We're describing the situation that we're in about prices going up. We look everybody around. We know that they're not coping, and yet we're not organized really yet. I don't think we're fully organized. We're really in this fantastic discussion space, which in a way has become we're kind of beguiled by it. We're hypnotized by it in a way. I'm just making it up. If people out there may not think they are and say that's just you, Paul, and that's fine. But I just thought I'd throw it in there. I think that there's this, it's like you were saying, all of this sort of the stand in the park type thing. When it started, it probably started really well, but they hit a maturity point, but people don't recognize it. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And no one's willing to actually say that next sentence, because that next sentence is about doing something. It's about acting. And the acting bit means you're going to come out of your comfort zone, and people don't like that. Including me. I don't like it either. But that's why a team that's around you that kicks you said, right, you got to go off and do that. Have you knocked on 5,000 doors in your local area over the last 6 weeks? No, I haven't. Well, you better go get it done, because you might find some good people.
Well,
Sorry,
the political party. And
the
the other thing for offices, I think the Bowler Hat Farmer is quite a good idea. He opened up a shop. Now, if you built a shop where he is, you'd have all the bureaucracy ever, planning permission, all this crap. So what did he do? He built the shop on a trailer. So he doesn't have to pay any rates or anything for it. It's on a trailer. So if you own a plot of land, have offices from caravans. Literally. And because they've got wheels on them, they can't charge you rates.
So could we create a Radio Shack trailer where we get a big trailer, put the radio gear in there, get a couple of laptops and some stuff and some microphones, right? We drive and we find out from all the audience where they are, and we say, we're going to rock up outside your house because we want to nick your Wi-Fi to go broadcasting. And we do a road trip.
Yeah.
I'm just making crap up tonight. Yeah, I'm just thinking of stuff. Yeah, just stuff like that. Just to
I've always
change something. I just,
a motor caravan. I've always wanted one. It's one of these things I like. But I don't like the traditional ones. I like the stealth ones that look like an ordinary van. Do what Richard Vobes does. It looks like an ordinary van from the outside, but it's nicely kitted out inside. Quite luxurious.
On the inside, it's a TARDIS. Is that what? That's what we want. A TARDIS. It's 5,000 times bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
It's just full of all these people working inside the back of your van. That's what we need. Yeah.
Yes. Paul said the people on the other team have had thousands of years to get to this point, where we have only really had last 5 years or so to attempt to catch up. Very good point. Yes. And also they discuss things behind closed doors. We can't. That's the difficult because they got the power, they got the money and everything. But I still think we could use coinage money using silver, because silver breaks down to very low quantities. Gold doesn't. Sovereigns now are over £600, whereas you can't pay everybody £600. But silver, a silver sovereign is £36. I know, because I looked it up today. And so,
what does 600 quid get you though? Isn't it sort of like the food bill for 2 weeks for a family of four? It might not even be a week these days. What does 600 quid get you?
Very little. Very little nowadays. This is the devaluation all the time. This is why gold is a very good thing to buy, because if you get a sovereign, the way they've gone up in the last couple of years is quite phenomenal. As I said, I bought a sovereign in 2008 for 80 quid. It's now worth 600. You wouldn't get a feedback from that on your savings at 1%, would you? So even with the 30% taken, £30 taken, sorry, not 30%, they take about £30 for commission. I'm still, if I trade that in, I've still got a lot of money that I've made off of that one sovereign. Now, Paul has said, purchase an old lorry with a trailer and a container on that can be painted into an advert for Fogham Hall Radio and broadcast from there. That's a good point. Yes.
Paul, can't you get us a knocked off single decker bus? That's what we need, and it needs converting. Or you could get a double decker, and we could be the double deckers. You remember that TV show? Oh, shudder. But come on, Paul, make with the public transport. You must have some trains or buses spare in your back garden. You must have. mustn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea. But that's all right. A bus. You can park it in a field. Be all right, you know.
The Freedom Bus. Give out
Freedom
flowers.
Bus. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
do you remember that when you used to get these hippies at the airport? You used to come up with a flower and say, "This is for you." Give you a flower. Do you remember that?
I'm not that old, actually.
Oh, I do.
I'm actually very, very young. I'm very young. And no, I'm probably not. Well, I know of it, but I never experienced it directly. Up in Yorkshire, I don't think we had any hippies. We probably did. They probably lurked around a bit, but their fathers would say, "You bloody pansy, get your hair cut." Actually, that reminds me, my cousin Stuart, 10 years older than me, was growing his hair long. He'd be a teenager. I think he's born about 1950, something like that, right? Yeah. So in the 60s, the Beatles are out and everything, and the hippies come along in, 65, 66. So everybody starts to grow their hair long. And his dad, my Uncle Roy, ex-Navy guy, really good mates with my dad, had been telling him to get his hair cut, and he wouldn't get it cut. So one night, seriously, when he was asleep, he just cut his he just cut it off. Oh. Get your bloody haircut, lad. That's that. Proper haircut. I mean, going around looking like a girl. Because it was all that talk, wasn't it? Yeah. You look like a bloody girl. My dad used to say that to me because mine just went out. I mean, that was mid to late 70s. I just went sort of bushy everywhere. There's a picture of me with it, sort of my son says, "Is that you?" And I'm going, "Yeah." And I'm about 18. I've got a beard and there's hair everywhere, just like a fuzzball. Really? My dad used to say, "You look like a rat peeping out from behind a bale of straw." I always thought that was quite funny. "Get that bloody beard off, you filthy bugger." I used to get these comments all the time. My, how we laughed. It wasn't delivered nastily. Yeah. It was a joke, it was a tease. He meant it sort of, but he didn't deliver it with hostility. It wasn't delivered like that. But yeah, my Uncle Roy just cut his hair off. He woke up, "Where's all my hair gone?" Cut it off.
But do you still have hair? I mean, have you still got a nice...
I have, but I'm going to start catching you up now. I'm mid-60s, and I've noticed recently. I mean, I've been thinning for years. Let's talk hair, shall we? But I have, yes. So,
it's long, it goes over the top like that.
Is that what you're going to do? A Ralph Coates. Do you remember Ralph Coates, who used to play for Burnley? He used to play football for Burnley in the midfield. He was actually a very good player, and he'd obviously, arrived at the... He'd gone bald really rather young, in his mid to late 20s. Yeah. So he had the comb over, and one side of his hair was growing extremely long. And when he took off like a whippet in the midfield, all of his hair would just stick out at the side. And as he's running along, there would be just this big line of hair from one side of his head.
I remember
it was very surreal, very surreal.
Is it Bobby Charlton?
Charlie Bobton, we used to call him. Yeah, Bobby Charlton. But Charlie Bobton's such a great name, isn't it? Charlie Bobton. Charlie Bobton had the same thing, didn't he? Yeah. It was known as a Charlie Bobton walnut whip comb over. The idea was that you wrapped it round your head so it came to the top.
Wrapped it round your ear. But actually, the weird thing is that when you have hair, when it rains, you don't feel the rain hitting your head. And when you don't have hair, you can feel the rain hitting your head. And also on cold weather, your hair would act as insulation. Whereas in cold weather, you've got to wear a bleeding hat. That's the thing,
Yeah, but then you could get to wear... You see, you've got a good reason to wear hats. You might look quite dashing in a bowler. Or a Stetson. A Stetson, come on. Yes. Yeah, I mean, maybe you should just get loads of different hats and just wear a different hat each week. Get about 8 and then just run them around. That'd be really cool. How about... what is it? The things that the Queen's Guard wear. What are they called? The Busbies.
Oh, Busbies. Yeah.
Get one of them. It would go right at the top of the camera. Yeah, you could keep a clock in that. It'd be fantastic. Yeah. With that.
Yeah.
And then the hat I always wanted when I was younger, because it's just great to say it. And also Philip Marlowe had one. Is a snap brim fedora. Isn't that a great name for a hat?
Fedora.
A snap brim. It means that the brim would snap back into shape. It had a sort of, it was made that way.
Fedoras.
And the snap brim fedora hat. Yeah. So if you're, in the 1940s, that's what you would have. You'd have a snap brim fedora.
I've got a
Sad that.
farmer's hat called a bucket hat, and you put that on, with
Yeah.
the sort of sloping sides. I've got a couple of bucket hats. I quite like them actually. So I look a right twat. Well,
I'm getting carried. I'm picturing you wearing all these hats. How about? Have you seen? What is it? The Three Amigos with Steve Martin and
yes,
Chevy Chase.
yes.
Right. You need one of those sombreros that they wear. They're absolutely enormous. Yeah, you can keep fruit in the brim of those. It's a good job we're talking about serious things tonight, isn't it? I like serious chat like this. It's important.
But did you know that Stetson hats were made in Manchester in England? Seriously. And the most common hat during the cowboy times was the bowler. So Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was the closest to the way it actually was. They didn't wear Stetsons that much. They like bowlers. So there we go.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we've got here van lifers seem completely unaware of the severe restrictions on access to land that are waiting in the winds. Yes, I've heard about that. Not being able to park on, yes, like they did with the gypsies.
Well, isn't this why we have to? And I haven't had a catch-up call, by the way, with Hannah, but I'm due one this week.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting this thing called the Declaration. There's a declaration document to be signed. So there's no point in me bigging it up right now because I haven't seen it. Now there's anybody else. But this is the thing that puts you in the private. There's nothing actually stopping you driving your vehicles on any of the roads here at all, as long as you know what to say when they pull you over. And that's the thing that we need training in. And
that's right.
And did we mention what are we talking about? The fact that these travellers, they're much more up to speed on all this stuff than anybody else because they've had to be. So they're really up to speed on where they're allowed to go and where they're not allowed to go. And they know how to stand their ground verbally and deal with anybody that comes along and starts telling them to do things that they don't want to do, particularly when they've got the law is on their side, and says that they can do that.
Yeah. Well, they can. They don't need a license, driving license. Don't need an MOT. Don't need insurance on their vans. They can drive as they want. If you've got a horse and a carriage, you can cycle. You don't need a license for that. I don't think you need a license for that. But have you seen what they're doing in Germany? Oh, it's clever. They're making push bike caravans. I kid you not.
Oh, right.
These things are bloody brilliant because they've got electric bicycles which you can go up to 15 miles an hour legally. You don't need. And of course, they've got no numbers on them, registration numbers, so you can go in the woods and park anywhere you want. So they're wild camping, and inside they're really. I mean, they're very small, yes, but you can you don't have to worry about tents or anything like that. You're pretty well protected. One bloke's made one out of polystyrene. It's got a roof on it. A lot. It's bloody brilliant. And the Germans and the Czechs are doing that, and Poles, I think they're doing it as well because they're getting so pissed off. And there's one bloke. He's put one on the back of a trailer. So he drives to where he wants to go and then goes off into the wilds and he's on his push bike caravan. And I think I got to be a bit twitchy. They're all handmade. You can't. I don't think you buy them. So they're all made by hand. But now what we got here, we got a lot in chat. Oh, by the way, Aunt Sally, we need a bath update. Aunt Sally, evening folks, just got in. What, in the bath? Better late than never. Yes, bubble bath.
You need to get cleaned up.
That's right. And next week, remember to wipe the steam off your camera. We want to have a camera to prove that you're in the bath. All right. So, but no, Anna, it's a good idea. If we could have her on the show soon, that would be very good because.
I think she's just busy doing some things. I want to get her back. I'm interested in seeing this document to do something with that. So. When it comes up, we'll talk about it. It's not here right now.
Yes.
But when it comes up, we'll talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking as well? This thing about mobile homes and stuff. I know someone, actually, two people near me. One guy's a landlord, very successful, runs a heaving pub down here. Really, it's very impressive. Yeah. It sort of restores your faith in British pubs. You go in there, they've always got a band on. It's packed to the gunnels. The staff are fantastic. They're really good. There's about 6 or 7 people behind the bar, and they're flat out. It's like 4 deep at the bar, over a 40-foot bar. It's really impressive. Yeah, he's just got a way with him that just draws people in. They don't want to leave. It's really good. He's actually going to buy one one of these mobile home things. He wants to buy one. They're not inexpensive, not a brand new one. They're sort of six figures, aren't they? Those things.
Oh yeah, bloody expensive.
They
What
are.
are.
Yeah, and I think you need to say, well, I'm going to have it for 4 years and it'll depreciate this, and then I'll sell it on, because otherwise you're going to just lose the lot, And then I've got some friends who are going to move house, I think. No, not that I think I know they are. But before they move into the new one, they want to spend about 4 months driving around Europe. So they're going to lease one. You can lease one of those things, like a mobile home type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll lease one and go on tour. I can go and see everybody. That's it.
Well, another one is using your car as a camper van, and it's called car camping, and you can do that. There's loads of people do that, and nowadays you can have these solar panels on the top, the lot. Yeah, and it's another thing that's gone through my mind. I thought that's a good idea, because I can then sort of tour around. Not so much fun in the winter; you get frozen up your bum, but this time of the year, it'd be fine. And because you're sort of there's something about tents I'm not happy about. Because some arsehole could come along with a knife and, some prowler or something. I just don't feel safe in a tent. But in a vehicle, yes, you lock the doors and you're quite safe. But now, Jojo Gizmo said, you don't want a polystyrene one. Some twat will set fire to it when you're inside having a kip. Yes, yes. And Six Blade says, and I agree with him here, I don't pay any tax. It only applies to slaves. Yes. Yep. Yes. And Six Blade.
What is it? On income tax? What is it that you can earn now before they want tax? Is it? It's £12,000 and a few hundred, isn't it? 12.
Like that, yeah, about
£750 or something. £12,500 a year. Yeah. Well, if there's two of you, that's 25 grand a year, tax free. It's not too bad, as long as you've paid for your house. If you're paying a mortgage and everything, you're stuffed, I suppose, still with that amount of money. Amount of money you need just to sort of exist and keep yourself in waffles. It's tricky.
That's right. And Survival Steve says, plus the Gover scum are warmongering genocidal criminals. You're being too nice to them. I wouldn't be happy funding these maniacs. Spot on, mate. Spot on. Yes. Now it says, James Eunice. Hello, James. How do I stop paying income tax? I don't know. And,
don't have any income?
Yes. Six Blade says all tax is voluntary. Yes, it is. And did you know income tax was introduced as a temporary tax?
To make that he's right as well. All tax is voluntary. So the bit that's now required is the mechanism that's sitting that needs to be put in your and my head or knowledge base to apply that.
Yes.
Without any negative repercussions. In other words, to be able to say that to the right people at the right time, or to provide notices ahead of time or whatever. In other words, there's a procedure for interacting with the club, the vicious club that we've been roped into, so that they don't come knocking at you asking you to pay club fees in the form of income tax or all these other sort of forms of taxation. Given that it is voluntary, and I'm of the view that it is, then we need that mechanism to establish that in actuality, as opposed to where it is at the moment, which is in sentences, which is a good place for it to be, because you've got to start off somewhere. But yeah, I'd like to be able to apply it. Because I talk about it all the time. I don't want to earn more than £12,750 a year. I'm not going to, because they're not. So the idea is you take the surplus that you would earn and you'll have to port it over to other places. Of course, they're aware of that. And out there talking now, they want to if they extend inheritance tax, by the way, to everybody, then it's then full-blown communism. They're literally, the state owns everything that you think is yours. They just want you to keep on thinking that it's yours. So that
you will
you're
own
an
nothing
obedient slave.
and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. That was Klausy Boy, wasn't it? He said that.
As opposed to, for most of your life, you've not owned very much and you've been unhappy.
Well, precisely, yeah.
Which is true. People just don't own very much, really.
Well, years ago, people didn't own very much because everything was very, very expensive. Someone said that textiles, when you think about it, you had the spinning jenny, and before the Industrial Revolution, you had some poor sod sitting in a cold, drafty house, making is, just with the spinning jenny, and then
Yeah.
suddenly some bright spark came along and made this massive machine that could turn material out at 20 times faster than you could, and then 30 times, 40 times. And
The flying shuttle.
yes,
That's what transformed it, wasn't it? The flying shuttle.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Some of the
Brilliant bit of
ideas.
engineering. They're brilliant
yeah.
engineering. It's
Yeah,
tremendous stuff.
I mean, when you look how slow they made things years ago, I mean, before the Industrial Revolution, everybody in a village had their task, had their job. There was a grave digger, there was a breaker, there was a butcher. It's a bit like Dad's Army, because that depicts a time that never really was. When you look at Dad's Army, it looks like a very cosy English village. And it's supposed to be in Kent, but it's actually filmed in Norfolk. Seriously.
Right.
But that's why I think it is warm and cozy when you look at it. Dad's Army, it's a comedy, but it's a very warm, cozy environment. It is our England. I think England.
Well, it's got so many of the cliches or the stereotypes of English life. It's got the rather befuddled vicar who speaks through his nose.
That's
and
right.
the verger. The verger's amazing with his those glasses he wears.
That's right.
Completely sycophantic to the vicar. It's just repulsive, really, isn't it? And always shocked. The warden, of course, is that obnoxious guy, Bill Pertwee, who plays it really well.
Oh, he does.
Arnold Ridley is so kindly as the kindly old man. Everybody wants him as their uncle, giving them Werther's original mints. You want him as your granddad, don't you?
Do you remember when their U-boat crew came ashore and said, "Oh," he said, "would you like a cup of tea? You must be very cold and wet." And he's trying to look after him. And he said, "What?" When they decided to go down the fish and chip shop to buy a meal, and the chap who's the spiff says, "Right, who wants cod and chips? Who wants?" What's his Mandarin turns around and says, "They'll get what they're bleeding given." He said, "They're prisoners." What is his name? Don't kill him, Mike.
It's good. It's great stuff. It's really, it's great.
That is true. I can see those scenes over and over again, and I'll still laugh. They're still funny, and there's something about it. And I like that when what is it? Jonesy, the butcher's, he converts his van to like a tank type thing, and they got sort of holes in the side where you stick your rifle out. They haven't got any ammunition, so they go put the rifle through and go. Was it bang 2 3 4? Bang 2 3 4? Because I've got the ammunition.
There was that.
Classic, yeah,
I know.
But apparently, who was his name? Patrick Moore, who was Stars at Night bloke, the astronomer. Yep. He was actually in the Home Guard, and he said that Dad's Army wasn't that far from what it was actually like. He said it was very similar. The old boys said that because he said, I think it was Clapham Common somewhere. He said, "What do we do to this old boy who's in his 80s? What do we do if the Germans invade?" He says, "Do as you're bleeding told, son." And Paul said, I have to remember that. Only Fools and Horses. Trigger's broom was a genius section. Oh, do you remember that one? This broom has served me, I can't remember the years, for 30 years. Isn't that amazing? It's only had 5 handles and 12 heads on it, and it's the same broom.
You can go far with a guy like that. That's good. I like that attitude. That's grand.
And he said, and it's the sweepers, always the sweepers saying, "Take care of your broom." And they said, "Anything further triggered that?" I said, "No, just take care of your broom."
Oh, yeah. I like Trigger.
In fact, Trigger's character is brilliant. The pub opens 24 hours a day, but not at night. And the other one, he said, he said, I was born at the end of the war, and my dad had been away from my mum for 5 years. I hadn't seen him for 5 years. So they said together, really? Oh, and Sean Haymer said Rick Mayall was playing Tony Blair in The New Statesman. I used to that was made for him. I didn't like Rick Mayall before The New Statesman. He was perfect at it, absolutely perfect. What was his name? When he came out of the House of Commons,
Bastard, wasn't it? Alan
Bastard.
Bastard.
That's it, Alan Bastard comes out of the House of Commons. There's one bloke with one leg. Says, "A Falklands veteran." He said, "Will you give him a Falklands?" And he kicks the bloke's crush away. He says, "Yeah," he said, "I made a fortune out of it." Walked off. And do you remember that one where he's in the EU and his wife? They're all going to vote against him. They're all sitting around this table. He said, "Hang on, gentlemen, before you vote." And his wife comes in dressed in a sexy costume, and she just puts a photograph. You don't see the photograph. Use your imagination in front of these commissioners, and they're all going. He said, "I'm sure you'll vote for me." "Oh, yes, yes."
What was that? There was one scene that I caught where he was really, something had gone really, really well. And he comes in and his secretary's there. I don't know who was playing his secretary, and he's excited. Something very positive happens. He said, "Oh, that I feel brilliant." And he says to her, he said, "Do you fancy a shag?" And she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Alan. I have only got 5 minutes." He said, "Oh, I didn't think we were going to do it twice."
It was classic. Wasn't it? I don't remember that one when he breaks into the Prime Minister's office and he opens the drawer. He says, "Oh," he says, "it's got next year's election results here. Wonder if I'll get in." "Oh, I do. That's good." There's some real. Whoever wrote that was a genius. It was absolute classic. Some of them was. The more I think about it, what's another one now? But the way he acted sort of like sincere, fake sincere all the time, and it was absolute classic. He was made for it. Nobody else could have done it as good as him. I don't think.
He was good. He knew what was going on as well. There's a lot of sort of question marks about his demise.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
And stuff.
And I wonder whether he was done in. You know. Now, what's this? Paul says Trigger turns up at Dell's and says to Rodney that Dell will give me a lift to the pub. Rodney says, "You walked past the pub to get to our flat." And Trigger says, "I know, but Dell asked if I wanted a lift." There are people that are as thick as that, though, isn't there?
Oh, I love that. That's lovely. It's really lovely. That's very sweet and funny all at the same time.
Oh,
and
it was. Yes. But there are people that are like that. And do you remember that one when Del Boy gets a load of paint from the railways knocked off, and it's a luminous paint, and he sends decorators in to paint the local Chinese restaurant, and he still blokes in the kitchen there with dark glasses on. He says, "What have you done to these walls?" And there's another one with the strawberry. The tomatoes. Remember that? And he gets these tomatoes at a real past their sell-by date, and he's selling them to around where he lives. And there's all different scenes. And you see who's that bloke, the car dealer? He's in this posh restaurant with his wife. He's going, "Blimey, these tomatoes are a bit manky, aren't they?" You know. And then it goes around, and then he goes. You see someone at a cafe saying, "Bloody hell, Bert, these tomatoes are a bit ropey, aren't they?" "Yeah, I got them from Del Boy." But that was what was this? Sean Baker says Tom Baker as the old sea dog in Blackadder.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. Yes, but Tom
Baker was really. Tom Baker had an enormous head.
Yes,
didn't he?
Yes.
Absolutely enormous. An enormous head.
And he used to act in porno films.
That.
Before he actually became famous, he was actually in porno films.
Right. I'm really glad I know that.
Yes. With an enormous head. That's no, actually true. It's not an innuendo joke. It's actually true. He did act a few nudie parts, you know.
Yeah.
But, no, we don't get comedy like we used to, do we? But I mean, the worst. The only comedy I didn't like Steptoe & Son. I found that too sad. That's something a bit. Don't know. But there was a few that I didn't like, but generally they were pretty good. Yeah. But
Yeah.
do you remember the life, fall and rise of Reginald Perrin? That got me. When he opened a grot shop, and everything was grotty in there, the sort of junk that, and the person walks in and says, I want to taste this picture for someone who I can't stand for their. I've got to buy a birthday present for them, and he shows them, and he says, oh, "Look at this picture. He said, that really is awful." He said, "Oh, you're just using your sales technique on me, aren't you?" He said, "That really is dreadful." It's classic. Do you remember that? It was with who was that bloke? He died, didn't he?
He died. That's a great line. Who's that bloke? He died, didn't he? You could say that about a lot of people. I like that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, he died.
Yes, he was on
Don't
Rising Damp as well. He was in
Leonard Rossiter.
That's the one. He was a very clever actor. He was in Stanley Kubrick films. Lots of.
He was in a lot of Kubrick films. Kubrick really liked him.
Yeah,
he's in 2001, isn't he?
That's right. Yes. And do you see the one where he was in Barry Lyndon, and he was actually one of the senior ones? The acting in Barry Lyndon was absolutely first class. And there's a scene where they have a duel in a pigeon loft. Do you ever see that one?
No.
And what happened is Kubrick said, let's have pigeons in this sort of area, in a barn, to give it atmosphere. And it worked. It gave it atmosphere. As I was talking, there's these pigeons floating around. But apparently, one of the actors said the pigeons were crapping all over the place, and people had to keep changing their costumes because they're being crapped on. But Kubrick never got crapped on at all. He is there with a camera.
No.
Yeah,
they were his pigeons.
Yeah. But no, he was very clever in that. And there's a scene where a bloke throws up, and he actually ate raw eggs to make himself throw up for the reality of the film. And he actually does throw up in the film. But no, Stanley Kubrick, I think, was a genius when it comes to films. You can't beat Stanley Kubrick. His films are fantastic, you know. But I still think Barry Lyndon was his best. People have disagreed with me, but I still think it is the best.
Well, it's beautiful. It's fantastically well shot. It's great.
Oh.
It's got a very distinctly. It's a very distinct atmosphere to it. Actually, we were just talking about Tom Baker as well.
Yeah.
He's still alive. How about that?
Yeah, he's in his 90s, I think, isn't he? He's getting on.
1934 he was born.
Bloody hell.
1934. So in January next year, he will be quite old. What will he be? 91.
91. Bloody hell.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, good lad.
Stanley Baxter's still alive. He's 100, isn't he? Remember Stanley Baxter?
Is he really?
Yeah.
The Scottish lad? Yeah.
Yes. And do you remember that scene where he does this thing where they've all got these bananas and he's taking off an American Hollywood film, and there's all these actors, choreographer must have been having a headache with them. And as this woman walks, he's dressed up as this attractive woman. As he walks on the stage, these people with the bananas, they all raise the bananas up. And it's all very subtle. It's very clever. It's all double meaning, all innuendo. But Stanley Baxter was very clever. But the bloke...
He's 99. He's 99, Stanley. He'll be 100 on the 24th of May next year. How about that? I hope you make it, Mr. Baxter.
I hope he makes it. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And what about the evil bloke in the Clint Eastwood films? He has a very strange surname. What's his name now? And
Lee Van Cleef.
No, not Lee Van Cleef. He's dead. But there's another bloke. He always acted the sort of stupid outlaw, and got caught every time. What was his name now? He's actually 110. Seriously.
Eli Wallach.
Yeah, he's 110.
Nah. Let me have a look.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Is he really?
Let's have a look. Eli Wallach, yeah. He's getting on a bit.
No. It's not Eli Wallach then. He was born 1915 and he passed 2014. So
couldn't have been Eli Wallach. It must have been someone else.
Don't know who the other ones were. Interesting.
No. But
you want to live to 110, Eric? Do you want to live to 110?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I do.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know what you do when you get old. when you really get old, what do? You're just quite happy sitting there, not doing much. I don't know what you do, really.
Just thinking. I mean, my dad wanted to do the ton, and he lived to, when was it? I think 92, 91, 92, I think,
Not bad.
So,
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think anything above 85 and you're batting quite well these days.
Yeah. That's right. Now, Patrick's into the studio. Hello, evening, Patrick.
Hey, how's it going?
Mustn't grumble. We're talking about some English sketch shows, and we're talking about Only Fools and Horses. You probably didn't get that in America.
No. I heard the talk about Barry Lyndon though. That's my favorite Kubrick.
You as
film.
well.
Yeah.
You as well. I think that was his best. And did you know that part of it is filmed in Ireland, and the IRA were very active at that time.
There were bomb threats. Yeah.
That's right. So he legged it, and he came over to Britain and filmed the rest. I think in Nebworth or somewhere like that. But
the photography.
He did a lot
good.
of filming in England. He filmed tons here.
Yeah.
He filmed the whole of Full Metal Jacket. Was all filmed over here.
That's right.
Because I watched it the other day with my son. I haven't watched it in years, actually.
Brilliant film.
And it's just good. It's a small film. I'll tell you what really stuck out about it. Very little music. Very little music. Makes the film spare and sort of it has to stand on the merit of its story. Quite a thing. Yeah.
It was brilliant. Who was the sergeant major in that? I'm just trying to think of the sergeant.
Arlie Emery.
Arlie Emery.
Yeah,
he was actually a drill sergeant.
Yes.
And he actually warned the actors beforehand that he was going to be abusive because he actually wrote the lines himself. And there were those things, that he said.
That's right. He changed everything. He changed the script for it.
Yeah. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant in that film. He was perfect.
He was. Absolutely amazing in it.
Yeah. Because did you know that during the filming, the actors weren't allowed to mix with him? So he was separate from them. So it was that the atmosphere was as he is a drill sergeant. And the fatty bloke, he had to put on weight for that part. He had to eat a lot of stodge in that to put on weight. And it made him. But that was, Full Metal Jacket. Absolutely. Because do you know that part of that was filmed in Docklands? When there was knocking on buildings.
And some gasworks. And some old... Yeah, I was looking at all the location sites for it. How sad was that? But I was, because it was all shot around all these. And there's the gasworks. But actually, if you didn't know that, you wouldn't have been able to tell. It was just they captured it fantastically. It was really good.
Have you seen Barry Lyndon, Paul?
I've seen the opening 25 minutes about 3 times, and then someone walks in, and I'm going, right. I hate stopping a film and starting again. So I've seen the duel at the beginning and some of the marching things, but not the whole thing.
I like that film mostly because it's such a beautiful photography and the costumes and the Baroque type scenario setup. It's really good. It's his best one as far as that's concerned. All the other ones aren't the same. He's got good photography, but it's just not beautiful.
Yeah. I agree with you. Did you see that scene when they're walking into battle? And he has the camera at a very low angle, and you just see the bottoms of their towels of their jackets going backwards and forwards. It works. You feel you're there. I mean, how bloody stupid to wear bright red jackets and just march towards the enemy, and they're firing at you.
Yeah, mowing down the enemy, and then they're doing the same to the same things happening to them. It's just stupid. And you could tell that that's the way they fought things back then, and it's just terrible when you see it up close.
Oh, it is. And people used to actually have picnics around the sides to watch the battle. Just go along to watch the battle. I mean, it's just bonkers. But again, I think that I did notice that I recognise it. I think it was Nebworth. There's a part of it, you sort of see it. But back to Full Metal Jacket, I've probably told you about the Essex power cables. You see the Essex power cables in the distance. Because it's actually filmed not that far from me, parts of it. And apparently they went around all the Chinese restaurants getting as many Oriental people as possible to act the parts of the refugees.
Yeah.
But I don't think there'll ever be another Kubrick. He was just a one-off.
Eyes Wide Shut was a terrible movie too, but
But that wasn't his. Yeah, but that apparently most of it wasn't his. because when he died, they changed it all. So a lot of it wasn't filmed by him. So, that was the thing. And I think he was done in. I really do.
I think he was too. Exposed too much.
And his daughter, have you seen his daughter? She lives in England.
I've heard her speak before, yeah.
Yes.
I used to go on to, they had a Usenet group called Alt Movies Kubrick. And she used to go on there. I almost got a bunch of his Laserdisc collection that he left her because she was just getting rid of it because Laserdisc had gone obsolete. But
wow. But
she's interesting.
People always talk about The Shining that Kubrick did, but I didn't go much on The Shining, to be straight with you. I think the acting was fantastic, but I don't know. I don't think the cinematography was quite there. It wasn't Kubrick's usual one. But 2001: A Space Odyssey, they reckon that Kubrick did the moon landing shots. Do you believe that?
I don't know.
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
Well, you can see, because he was an expert on front projection, and there's always a line, and you can actually see the line with the moon thing. So,
yeah, if they did fake it, they would have to do something like that.
Yeah.
They would have.
Yeah, that's it. Paul says about Only Fools and Horses, the specimen scene on Only Fools and Horses at the pub. Rodney says it needs to be kept in a cool, dark place where it won't be disturbed. And Marlene says, how about Boyce's underpants? Yes, I remember that one. Yes. Hang on, what's this other one? Oh, another pub sketch where they talking about school, and Trigger had walked in to a mind your head sign. Albert says to Trigger, didn't you see it? And Trigger says, of course I saw it, but I couldn't read. Sorry.
Did you ever have like sketch comedy or sitcom type stuff like Cheers, like we had here in America?
We had Cheers, we had Cheers, yeah.
But was there a British equivalent of that?
Not what I can
like
think
in a
of.
pub?
No. Well, I suppose the only one would be Coronation Street. That was serious. That was always around the pub, wasn't it? Rover's Return. But
yeah. We've done a bit of a sort of cultural tour tonight, haven't we? We're doing a bit of sort of culture chat, really.
Aunt Sally's coming for a good one. Kubrick's daughter said he couldn't have done the moon landing footage because he'd have done it better. Yes, I think he would have done. Yeah,
the last time I heard her, she was on Alex Jones talking to him.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And he was just born to do that work. But that idea of when they played when they showed you Blue Danube Waltz. Remember they played the Blue Danube? You got that?
Yeah, with the space.
Well, everyone said it wouldn't work. They said, "Crap, it just will not work." And he proved them all wrong. It did work, and it's amazing. But and the other one, you seen the one where the bloke's asleep and you see that pen spinning in space? Do you know how they did that?
Wasn't that like a glass orb of some sort that they
had a glass screen, and double-sided sellotape had just been invented, and they stuck the pens, double-sided sellotape, onto the screen, and they just moved the screen round. And you said if you look carefully, you can see it. She just sort of detaches it. She does it. She had several practice runs on getting that pen off. But that was clever.
See, he did that one in 65 millimeter, 70 millimeter film, which is it's like the IMAX type format. It's the large format film, so it's just so much more resolution than you get with a standard 35 millimeter frame.
There was one that he did with Kirk Douglas. I think it was in black and white in 50s.
Paths of Glory.
Paths of Glory. I've never seen it fully, but it's supposed to be very, very moving. And that is
like it was based on World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some parts that are a bit cheesy because it was an early film. Like I think that was probably one of his first major films that he did besides The Killing, where it was a decent budget. And that's where he met his wife too. She's in the film at the end.
Really?
It's like
Really?
the salon or singer at the in the saloon.
I
The end.
have to admit, I don't know who's produced it, but the latest film, All Quiet on the Western Front, I've seen bits of it on YouTube. I have to admit, it is bloody clever the way they've done it. It really is realistic. And I think it's a German film crew that's actually done it. It's done in German. And how they did it with the trench warfare, I just do not know. But you actually feel you're there. It really is guts and gore. Very cleverly filmed. Because the original was done in the 1930s, wasn't it? All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Right.
But
I did many years ago when I was a kid. But really, again, you don't get the producers you used to get, do you really now? I mean, Hitchcock was a genius as well, with Cary Grant, North by Northwest. That was incredible. I always get the title wrong. It is North by Northwest, isn't it? Something like that.
yeah, I think like his first movie that he did in the silent movie called The Lodger. I think one of the Rothschilds actually produced that. I remember reading about it where he had like a Rothschild. I forget the name, who it was in particular, but that's one movie I'd like to see. I've seen parts of it. I like those old movies, the old silent movies.
Well, you want to see the one with Harold Lloyd called Grandpa's Boy. Grandma's Boy, not Grandpa's Boy. Yeah, that is brilliant. It's on YouTube, and that really is brilliant. He acts it well, and it has a very good moral to the story. It's about 20 minutes, half an hour. It was the first major film they ever made, because they used to do shorts that are only about 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the first film ever. It says here, Owen Benjamin did a long interview with Kubrick's daughter a while ago. Very interesting. And James Nunez says, could have done it poorly intentionally.
Maybe. Just to throw people off. See how
I was just looking up Kubrick's death. I'm sorry I've been a bit quiet, but I
wasn't
wanted
it a heart attack?
Only 70. Interestingly, okay, so this is Wikipedia, right? But 6 days after screening a final cut of Eyes Wide Shut for his family and the film's stars, so it hadn't even been released into the public then, Kubrick unexpectedly died of a heart attack at the age of 70. His funeral was held 5 days later. That's fast, isn't it?
Very fast.
Kind of.
I think it's fast.
I think
that's
it's
really quick.
ironic because in Barry Lyndon, there's a scene where there's a famous heart attack scene where he needs his nitrous pills. Do you remember that, Eric?
No.
The guy's he's having a heart attack. It's the husband of the woman he ends up marrying, Barry Lyndon. So it's kind of strange, but then again, heart attack is one of the most common ways that people go is a heart attack. But still,
yeah, but I still think it was odd. He's a pretty fit bloke, as far as I know. You know, it sounds a bit.
I'll tell you what is appealing in the thing in Wikipedia is apparently he'd spent masses of time researching doing a film about Napoleon.
Yes,
really.
He was going to do a film about Napoleon and never did.
Well, I mean, I saw the thing that what's his name did last year, and it was okay, but really, it's just too big a life. You can't cram it into 3 hours. You need one of those. I'd love to see it done properly. They need to get, Apple's massive budget on it.
Yeah, it needs to be a series.
It does. It needs to be sort of like 50 2-hour shows, literally, to cover it. It's just colossal life. It's off the charts. It's silly. Mind you, there's something interesting here just at the end of this. I just thought I'd read this because I've never read this quote before. It says, he was buried next to his favourite tree on the estate at Childwickbury Manor, which is, I guess, where he was living for most of his life. In her book, dedicated to him, his wife, Christiane, included one of his favourite quotations by Oscar Wilde. And this is a good one. You're all going to want this when you go too. The tragedy of old age is not that one is old, but that one is young. I like that too. It's difficult to not like that. It's kind of true. It's true. Everybody goes, oh, an old person. You go, I'm still 19 inside. It's weird. I'm finding it weird. Aren't you finding it weird as the years go by? Of course, Patrick's still a nipper, really, but I am. I'm finding it extremely odd. I'm just going, this can't be right. What's gone on? It's very strange.
Something weird. I was actually putting onto one of my sheds, I was putting a lock on the bottom of the door, which is about a foot or so off the bottom of the door. And I found it difficult to keep getting up and getting down again, which I would have done with ease a couple of years ago. I was sort of going, and sort of think, oh, bloody hell, I'd have to get down again. Whereas I wouldn't even thought of it a couple of years ago. And that's another thing, and makes your hair fall out as well. But
I was up the tree with a chainsaw about 6 weeks ago, and I'm yet to get back up it again. But the birds have flown now, so I don't like killing things. There was nesting birds in there. I don't care what they are. It's not them that I'm bothered about. It's me. I don't want to be a killer. Seriously, I can't stand it. It just does me head in. I'll fret about killing something that I didn't need to kill, and I'm going, it's me that's going to pay for that, so I'm not killing them. It's not about them. It's about my mental well-being, which might sound pathetic and weak. I suppose it is to some degree. But yeah, I don't mind hopping around with a chainsaw, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in about another 5 or 6 years' time.
I mean, I don't like treading on a snail even. I'll put a snail somewhere else. But
I sometimes tread. I sometimes tread on them because it's in the dark. I come out of my shed and they're there. And I don't like it. Anyway, I have to forget it. Snail killer. Killer.
I've done this. They seem to, and another one. They seem to like my car because I've got snails all the way around the number plate because I back up to a bush where all the snails are. Yeah. So when I drive off, I've got a number plate that it's got all bits on it. I'll take the snails off because I've got this funny drive. I've got an L-shaped drive, so I've got my smart car parked in the front of the house, and my Toyota in the garage, and then the rest of the drive is empty. And because that's all tucked up, I got to because it's a classic car, but with the smart car, it's funny. I went to Aldi the other day and I got out of my car and I thought, hang on, my number plate looks a bit strange. There's all these little blobs of, there's all snails there, so I decided to leave them. So they went on a bleeding long journey, didn't they? Yeah, but now when you sort of look at life about age and things like that, I think another thing is memories as well. You have memories of a time that younger people don't remember. And it's a bit like my granddad. He was telling me about the times of when he was young that I wouldn't have remembered. And do you find that when you're talking to younger people, they don't quite understand because you remember a time that they weren't in?
I don't know about that. I know what you mean. I think that's definitely one way it can go. I think another thing is that a lot of what you know in life, you weren't there firsthand, right? If you think about what we talk about, we weren't there. The bulk of a huge amount of what's in your head in terms of your sensibilities about where you're living, and that are informed by recent records, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe we're different. We're different, really, as a generation in that we've got electronic media to look at stuff. If you'd have been, if we go back 100 years. And it's 1925.
25, yeah.
And, or maybe a little bit further than that. There's no electronic media recordings of anything.
No, they had to rely on their recollection a lot more.
Yeah, you've got lots of illustrated magazines. You've got drawings of people before photography had taken off. If we go back to 1820, right? And you're trying to describe the 1700s to people, that's all you could do is describe it to them. You couldn't show them anything. There's no photographs of it. There's no moving images. There's no recordings or sound recordings with anybody. So I think it is possible for young people today to get a similar view of the past as the people at the time would, because, or pretty close to it, much closer than any other generations have, because, most people have consumed life through electronic media, through the mass media for a long time. You don't realize that we're doing that, but we do, don't we? And it's the whole thing about memory is it's a very puzzling topic to me. I sometimes get quite panicky about it. My memory works well. It sometimes works too well, and I don't want to switch it on. So I don't. I leave the button off. I won't turn it on because it's just I'm going to lose time.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference between memory and recollection, because we all have a good memory, but our ability to go back and recollect that memory isn't always as sharp as it could be. That's the key. It's like a musician. You might have learned in the past how to play a piece of music, but then you forget about it, but you still know it. You know that you could play it and the notes and all that.
Yeah.
But your ability
you need
recollect,
warming up a bit to get back into the groove. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's true.
By the
No, I
way,
just think do you think it's people say, it's funny if you can remember, there's a guy I remember, it's a brilliant interview. I need to dig it up somewhere. We were coming back on a road trip maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was driving, and my son said, let's listen to this. So he just plugged it into the car stereo system. It was a podcast he was listening to. And it was an interview with a guy, an American guy, who is an insurance assessor. Now, that's probably not the exact title, but he was a statistical analyst for insurance companies. And all the data fields that they capture on people. And they can work out everything. They could work out almost to the week when people were going to die. It's that precise. He said this is a refined data set that's been building up over a long time, decades, if not hundreds of years. So they look at all these variables in people's lives, and then they can set a premium for them based on what they anticipate. And they're like 95% accurate with people's passing, which is freaky when you think about it, right? So he said it's just that people don't realize that there's all this. So they look at their diet and everything and their past. There's tons and tons of stuff. And computers, of course, can do it even quicker now. They can analyze so much more stuff. But he had a condition, which is, I don't know what it's called. He couldn't forget anything. He said, I remember everything. He said, if you ask me of a book I was reading 13 years ago and what's on page 18, I can read it out to you. Literally. Right? No, it's a thing. He said, therefore, when people present me with information, I often will not read it because I don't want it going in. I don't want it in there because it's in there for good. What's that like?
wow.
That's kind of, I think that would be exhausting. I mean, because I'm thinking about how I sometimes stop. Maybe you do. You go, hang on, and you take a few moments, don't you, to track the file in your, however it works, in your noggin, and you go, got it. Or when we're talking quickly, we do it in shows, don't we? You have a thought, we move past the thing, go, shit, what was that thing 35 seconds ago? And you have to really wind it all back get it. And I'm thinking, how arduous would that be? But I don't think with him it worked like that. It was as if the hard drive is just completely open and he can go to any point instantaneously and just pull it out. So it's a medical condition which made him ideally suited for this work.
Could he be
astonishing interview?
A form of dyslexia?
Well,
because
maybe. I don't remember him using that word, but that's an astonishing quality to have. It's kind of scary in a way. You think, you don't forget anything. No, nothing.
Can you? Yeah, but you've been on the drawing board, Paul. Couldn't you think in 3D? Because those that's on the drawing board, I can think in 3D. You get something and you can turn it around in your mind. A lot of people can't do that, and they reckon because dyslexia is some people. A lot of people think, dyslexia is you can't read. No, some dyslexics can't read. All right, some people have got mild dyslexia, and they can read and write the right books. There's nothing wrong, but it's certain other things. You know, it's a very wide topic, dyslexia apparently, and yes. So
it's reminding me of someone else. You remember that TV series we've been talking about? TV. Remember Taxi with Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to get. Now, there's an actress in that called Marilu Henner. I think she was in that, wasn't she? Or was it another series? You'd know her if you saw her face. She's been in quite a few films. She's got an astonishing mental condition, a positive one. I'll just read you this. I knew about it. Marilu Henner possesses a highly superior autobiographical memory, HSAM, also known as hyperthymesia. This rare condition, this may be what this guy had as well, allows her to recall specific details from nearly every day of her life with remarkable accuracy. She can remember dates, days of the week, and details of events happening on those days, both mundane and significant from her past. How about that? So it might be that he had a variant of that, or that's what he had, hyperthymesia.
Yeah, what did you
Very
have
rare.
3 weeks ago for lunch? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
I'd have to go. Right, I'd have to go. Now, what day would that be? Monday. Then, being a creature of habit, I'm going avocados, probably, but I don't know because I'm going. because you don't want to burden yourself with minutiae, do you? It's kind of scary. I think
Weird,
it is.
isn't
I'd never be able to differentiate between an important thing and a thing that I don't want to record. But good grief.
Eaten bread is soon forgotten.
Yeah. It's surprising. But you think your subconscious is running you most of the time. You drive your car, your subconscious is driving, not you. You're sitting there because, you know, if you could try and recall your journey, say, well, what gear was you in? Can't remember. You know, you just do it automatically. And it's most things that you do automatically. It's quite surprising. And it's a bit like when you're used to doing something, like drawing or something like that. You could draw at a terrific speed because you're just doing it day after day after day after day. You just get used to it. And you just,
it's like music too.
Yeah.
You start out, you're not good, but then you practice, and with practice, you get better and better and better. The more you do it, it becomes second nature. You don't even have to look at what you're doing. You can sit and close your eyes.
There's a little clip of her talking. You want to hear this? It's 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Sounds interesting.
I've not heard it before, but it says Marilu Henner's highly superior autobiographical memory. Hang on, let me just switch the audio on so that you get this. Just a minute. Here we go. Let's see what this is like. I'm just on spec.
The important thing to remember about Marilu Henner is that she will remember this day and all other days and everything that happened.
Yes, that's true.
That is true.
You
have that thing, that memory.
I do. I have it's called highly superior autobiographical memory.
Whoa.
And I was born with it. They've taken 300 measurements of my brain, and they found 9 areas 10 times larger than the normal brain.
Incredible.
Wow. I know,
Okay,
it's crazy.
so as an actor, you could look at a script.
Well, that's 2-dimensional. I'll remember the 3-dimensional of it all. What the weather was like, what I was wearing, what the day was.
So it doesn't help with memorizing a script.
Well, it does, because it's similar.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you want to hear something I realized when I was out there? I'm so excited from the audience.
Yeah.
That's like a power rush. 46 years ago today was the first read-through for Taxi, July 5th, 1978.
Unbelievable.
How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
What do you remember about that read-through?
Tony Danza and I looked at each other, and we knew something was going to happen in the first couple of weeks. But yeah.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting. I was like, oh, you knew the show was going to get picked up. Oh, you mean something else was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so there you go.
Wow.
9 areas of her brain much, much larger than yours and mine. Bloody hell.
Look at
Interesting.
Hedy Lamarr. She was an Austrian actress in the 40s.
Yeah.
And she was a scientist as well. She invented quite a few things.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's a very strange woman in lots of sort of contrasting qualities. She was a porn actress, wasn't she? She was in one of the first porn movies. Yeah.
Good heavens.
Yeah. Yeah, she's from the tribe.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
she didn't she create radar or she
Something like
cracked
that, yeah.
codes. She did something really clever. She did, very bright. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. So she was really alluring, I suppose, a femme fatale. She was
I didn't know she's a porn actress. I mean,
well, no, they did nudie films of her in Austria in the 1920s, and this is what brought her to attention. And then they brought her over to Hollywood. And then it turned out that she was much more interested in engineering. Was really good at it. Weird, isn't it? Some of it were just
really
born.
weird.
Some of us are just born so thick.
well, look at Linda Lovelace. She was in
No.
a porno film, and she actually was against pornography. And in the end, she was apparently when people saw her, she was a very little sort of quietly spoken type of woman, type that you wouldn't expect to be in porno films. But she went against it, and apparently she was forced to do it. So she says, that was Linda Lovelace. And
Yeah, that all needs shutting down.
sort of a throaty
you
sort of
said,
name, isn't it?
Like a Victorian prude. It needs to be they all need to be shut down, all that stuff.
Yes. Famous film. I won't go into it, but yes, it made you choke when you saw it.
Oh,
I've never
Eric,
seen
you
it.
did go into it. You did go into it.
I've never seen the film. Yeah. Well, I don't understand all this. I mean, I got my granddad's pornograph and just some old bloke singing. I don't understand all this pornography stuff.
Yeah.
I think the needle needs to be sharper. Maybe, I don't know, but no, it's funny with these. What we're talking about memory now. For example, none of us were around several generations ago with the American Civil War, but our only image in our minds of the American Civil War is from Hollywood. You think about it.
Well, there are some of those black and white battlefield photographs, which was some of the first battle photography ever shot, I think, for the war between the states. And I'm imagining by now someone's probably AI'd them and sharpened them up to 4K and colorized them and everything.
And animated them.
Yeah, probably all that kind of stuff. I've seen some things. Many of those shots of Lincoln outside his tent and everything, they've all been enhanced. And of course, it's as if you're just looking straight at it. It's quite a thing. I mean, you remember that? I don't know if you've got it. You know that film that Peter Jackson did in
They Shall Not
2018?
Grow Old or something like that?
They Shall Not Grow Old. Have you ever seen that, Eric?
No, never seen it. No.
All right. Well, I've got a copy, so I need to send it to you. It's amazing. It'll blow your mind when you see it. It's absolutely breathtaking because what happened was in the early 1960s, the BBC were able to interview a lot of the veterans from World War I. This is 1960, 61, 62. Very high quality audio recordings of them talking about being young men, like 17, 18 and 19 years of age. And so the first 20 minutes is that with a lot of still photographs. And then it cuts to the black and white wonky footage that you're familiar with from documentaries, you know, things skipping around and frames missing and all that kind of stuff. And it's of these squaddies walking to the front. There's no sound. It just starts off. Then the black and white image sharpens up like tremendously. Then it gets colorized. Then it gets slowed down to the right speed. This is all happening in a few seconds. You're just getting adjusted to it. It's as if someone's cleaning the whole thing up, and then the sound comes in.
Frames get filled in.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's as if somebody went down to the trenches with an iPhone and started filming it, just like that. It's amazing. And they got lip readers to look at what all these guys were saying. Then they got them from the areas of the country, like there was a Yorkshire regiment and a Sussex regiment and another one, right? So they got actors, lip sync actors. They got all the words down, and you've got them all talking to one another. It's amazing. It knocked my socks off when I saw it. Yeah, it's very moving. And some of the comments from the guys when they were young are not what people would expect. One guy's going, he said, "Oh yeah, well we got there, and I could hear all the bombs going off." He said, and we were about 5 miles from the front and we're marching down to the front. He said, and I was really, really panicky. He said, because I thought it'd be all over before I got there. He couldn't wait to get in it. Loads of them like that.
Yeah.
He said, it's the most exciting thing I'd ever happened in my life. He said, I'd just come out of nowhere and we got pitched into this thing. He said, I just thought it was great. I mean, you can't believe what they're saying. Some of the things that they're saying about it.
Oh, when was the last war in Europe? Because before First World War, the last European war that Britain got involved with was Waterloo, and it was generations ago. No generation had actually been through a war before World War One.
Well, they'd been all over the place working for the East India Company called the City of London, kicking shit out of everybody. I suppose.
Oh yeah, a lot of that war and things like that. Yes, but not in Europe. Not actually, on our doorstep as such. There was always one way.
And the biggest recruiting power, the thing that actually boosted recruitment more than anything else was hunger on the home front. When they went in the army, they got fed.
Yes,
that's why they signed up. It's quite.
Families,
I'll send it to you. I've got it kicking around. I actually downloaded it and got a copy. I'm going to watch it. Now when did it come out? 2018. So I haven't watched it since about 2019. So it's 6 years. So I need to sit down and watch it again. Somebody may well have uploaded it by now onto YouTube. It's called "They Shall Never Grow Old," and it's amazing. And Jackson, I think afterwards said every single bit of historic footage that we've got on everything needs to go through the process that we ran. And I think he's right. They could run all of it, all of this footage could be run through these systems and enhance the image quality. And it just, it changes your experience of it massively because it makes it real. There's one where they're sort of digging trenches, this Yorkshire bloke, over there, lad, and do this. And they're all going over to get some beer. There's a big sort of Yorkshire beer hut or something, and they all want their beer. It's about the sheer grind of it all. They're all covered in shit, of course.
That's right. And words. Well, they used to actually come home covered in shit. They didn't have a shower beforehand. They used to come home absolutely.
Well, I'm like that to this day, Eric. I like
Well,
to carry
same
on
here.
the World War I tradition. You know,
Oh, same here. And do you know
showers
where
are
the
for
word-
puffs out there.
Hey, my God. Nothing like a tide lying around the bar.
I'm like
is there?
Aunt Sally. I just have a bath once a month. I mean, I don't think you need to get. You're not going daft about all that cleaning stuff.
Drop of Ajax in the water. That's all you need.
That's it. You go on, get in, lad. You'll be fine.
Yeah. To think we used to wash our hair in washing up liquid. That is terrible.
Did you?
stuff.
Oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Washing up liquid.
What fairy was it? This explains a lot.
But no, when you look at these old films and that, you know, the men in those days. I mean, they thought it was really exciting because the bullshit was so good. Let's face it, the PR was brilliant. What they did, they made it look as if it's one of the most exciting things ever. Until they got there and they found out what it was really like, and then because there was one film I saw. Well, actually, I've got a film that I did called The War Justification Industry. Plug. If you go onto warveteran.co.uk, you'll see it on there. It's still on there, called The War Justification Industry. And it's 15 minutes long. And I did that about 10 or 15 years ago. And some people said they get rather choked looking at it. And I got footage. Well, I spoiled it, but I actually got some original footage, and I have to put a warning up in front saying that people of a nervous disposition or children it's unsuitable for, because it is. But it tells the truth about the First World and Second World War that people are very, very unaware of. And that is that the men that came back were done out of their war pensions in the First and Second World War, and it's the biggest scam ever covered up. Not all of them.
Don't forget though, your government really does care about your well-being.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and well, I think we need to put this sign up again. What was it? Governments are bad for your health. Get help to quit voting, and it's true.
Yeah, I mean, if it's of any help, Eric, and for anybody listening, if you go to YouTube and type in "They Shall Not Grow Old," which is the correct title for it, there's a lot of extra. You won't find the whole thing, but you'll find lots of 2 and 3 and 5 minute clips taken from it. So it'll give you a flavour. If you want the whole thing, I'll send it to you. I've got it kicking about somewhere.
Oh, I'd be interested. Yeah, sorry, that's one of my, because I like modern history. That's my thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there. But my granddad used to come out with sayings, and that was, he gave him a right doughboy. Have you heard that one? We gave him a right bloody doughboy. Do you know where that comes from? I found out.
Where's that come from?
When the Americans first came over here in 1917, they had buttons that looked like dough, and they were known as the Doughboys.
Right.
And
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah. So it's something to do with their buttons. They called them Doughboys, and so it meant, give someone a punch, you give them a doughboy, which was the Americans come over, But I think that the strange thing about the First World War is that I don't think they had conscription. I don't think you were drafted in the First World War in America. Do you know anything about that?
I think they were. I think that had something to do with the whole idea of you don't scream fire in a crowded theater. That was used to create a draft for people.
Really?
To the war. Yeah, that phrase somehow sticks out in my mind because I remember hearing about that we had a form of a draft where people were drafted and
really
they couldn't get out of it because of the emergency that was declared.
The war started in 1914, but we didn't introduce it until 1916 because I started running out of cannon fodder. It was voluntary for 2 years until 1916, and it's quite amazing. But did you know also that we had concentration camps around Great Britain in the First World War? Not many people realise that. where people of German surnames, men, not the women or children, but the men were put into these concentration camps, and they were actually called concentration camps, and people went and looked from the outside as like a tourist thing, and they were some of the men of German extraction couldn't even speak German. They've been here several generations, but just because they had a German surname, and they were worked and treated very, very badly, and bellowed at and shouted at just because they were German. So there's not that many people who realise that as well, because Britain invented the concentration camp in the Boer War. Was you aware of that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
What was her name that went down to the concentration camps and helped them?
That's right. It's a English
I forget her
woman.
name. Yeah.
Very brave, and she exposed what was going on, because they was actually trying to kill the people, trying to genocide them. But because they had in the Boer War, they had a scorched earth policy, and that's how they beat the Boers. They actually destroyed all their farms and their farmland, so they had nowhere to go for food or lodging or anything like that. Yes. Nice people, us British. Well, I'm not British, I'm English, but the British are nice people, generally. We're jolly nice, you know. And did you know that every year in Wales, Zulus, seriously, are invited over to here and have an exchange, and they march through the town in their Zulu gear, because it was a Welsh regiment that fought the Zulus at Rorke's Drift. And they remember it every year. They come through on a kind of friendship mission, which is quite nice, isn't it? You know, so the Zulus come over, and I think a party go to Zululand as well. So there we go. So
so the crowded theater thing, and what it was we had here in America in 1917 they had the Espionage Act, which meant that you couldn't speak out against the efforts to recruit the military, and they equated it with shouting fire in a crowded theater as the argument for keeping it.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know about you folks, but I didn't have much sleep last night because I had the Welshes.
The Welshes?
The Welshes. You heard the Welshes? Know someone suffering from the Welshes?
No, what's that?
Diarrhea. Sorry. So I had
runs.
Yes, I had something upset my stomach. I was all right on the show last night, and it's about
good.
2 o'clock in the
Actually,
morning.
Eric, I think it's quite impressive. We've gone 2.5 hours in, and this is the first allusion to toilet areas. 2.5 hours. I think it's a new world record.
Yes. It was a union job. It was 1 out, all out. I mean,
Except you didn't quite make it.
No, I didn't.
Do you think? I think, maybe, Eric, what you could do is a daily toilet news. We get weather forecasts, don't we, and all this kind of stuff, and then there's all the sort of political guff. What people really need is some toilet news. They really need to know what's going on in the toilet areas of their life. I think I don't think you'd be short of material somehow. I've got I'd call it a sixth sense. I bet there'd be lots of things for
the
you to say.
digestion digest.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, it's but like the Chancellery, they had a line of toilets down there, and they must have been very nervous with the bombing. And I imagine sort of Hitler running down, banging on each door, saying, "Goebbels, you in there?" And then suddenly he got, "Yes, I am." He says, "Well, come out. There's a crisis out here. There's a crisis in here and all." So there's your toilet humour for tonight. But I just hope I don't get the 2 bob bits tonight. That's all, because it's a rude awakening at 2 o'clock in the morning. But no, it must have been some form of food poisoning, because the perspiration that's coming off of me, I mean, I was sweating so hot. I mean, it was literally dripping off me. Perspiration.
I really need to know all this.
Well, I'll show you some of the
I'm surprised you didn't actually take some footage and stick it on Instagram or something. Maybe there's a new channel called Instapoo or something, and you could put it on that.
Well,
what's
people think
needed.
it's rather funny, but it's really very runny. That's diarrhea. Sorry. Well, that was in what was that American film? Was it diarrhea? I must have it. Once had a dose of diarrhea. What was that one?
Maria.
Oh, sorry. Well, that was it. I thought it was diarrhea. Sorry. That's what we used to sing when I was at school.
Did you?
Yes, it was nice. Nice little kid.
Was everybody at your school singing sort of toilet-themed songs? Is that what was going on?
No, we used to sing
quite
rude
interesting.
words to
No.
in assembly.
I'm
And
shocked.
I got kicked out because the one that they never had at my assembly was what was it now? Kumbaya. Kumbaya. We never sang that because I'm sorry, I really couldn't repeat what we sang, but it was the British Army version. And was it sit down for Christ's sake, the ones at the back can't see. That was another one. I was a good little boy though. I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
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 Butter wouldn't melt in my mouth.
No. Of course not.
And Paul says there's no fart jokes last night either. What's this? Paul said next week a National Diarrhea Week starts Monday, runs till Friday. Well, I tell you what we should try and do: get someone to creep into the House of Commons late at night and put whoopee cushions filled with gravy on all the seats. Now that would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. This is what we need. Some practical jokes to knock
Yes.
some sense back into it. It wouldn't work, but at least we'd have a laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you remember there was a thing called O Calcutta, a play in London, and it was all
Well,
nudie scenes in the
Yeah, I knew of it because everybody talked about it. They're all stark naked.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, a practical joker went right up where the lights are, and sprinkled itchy powder. Sorry. This is true. Sprinkled itchy powder on the people that the actors, and they had to close it because they just couldn't stop scratching. And also, Tony Blair's father-in-law was in that as well. Did you know?
Really?
Yes. Yes, and that was it something Booth? Was it Anthony Booth?
Yeah.
Tony
He was
Blair?
also in Till Death Us Do Part, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Did you get that in America, Patrick? Till Death Us Do Part?
No, what's that?
Yeah, they got it as
Was that All in the Family?
yeah.
Archie Bunker,
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yes, because there was a record in it. The Monkees came over here. One of them did, and he saw Alf Garnett, and he said, and Alf Garnett was saying, "Randy Scouse Git," and they actually made a record called Randy Scouse Git, and they was going to publish it in this country, and they had to change the name from Randy Scouse Git. So he can't pronounce because he
From the
thought it was-
Monkees?
yeah, from the Monkees, yeah.
Davy Jones.
That's right, and
Mhm.
it's called Randy Scouse Git. So Monkey's Tune. You look it up on YouTube, and you'll find Randy Scouse Git on there. Seriously, and that comes from Till Death Us Do Part, because he used to say, "You're Randy Scouse Git," and being an American, I don't think he understood what he meant, because
Probably
Scouse
not.
is from Liverpool. So
Or Git. Americans
Or Git.
at that time wouldn't know what that meant.
no. But well, it's a bit like the word funny, isn't it? Now, it's not rude in America, but it's filthy over this country. It's very rude. And the chap that was in Naked Gun, what was it, Nestle Nielsen, he'd been in this country long enough to know. He knew, and he actually said that word on breakfast television. I tried to shut him up, and he did it deliberately. I'm positive, because he knew. Anyway, fellas, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. And excuse me.
It's been a lot of fun. Been a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun, Eric. Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you. And I believe on Thursday you've got a special guest coming on. Is he from Germany? Isn't he? From
Yes,
Germany?
it is. It's the grandson of Goebbels. No, it's
That'd be
Tom
good, wouldn't it?
Anderson. Yeah,
Tom Anderson.
Tom Anderson is back with us, so it's quite a while since Tom was on. He did a show. He did a two-parter when he first arrived, and then we did a great show on the Bell, which was about the advanced technology of the Germans in the 1930s.
We were on with them too.
Yeah.
That's
Eric and
it. That was it. That was it. Yes. But
Yeah,
Thomas
so
it's,
I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm thinking I wouldn't mind. I'm going to talk to him before that, but I'm thinking maybe we ought to have a look at AI a bit. But it doesn't really matter what I say, because anybody who's just listened to the last 2.5 hours or whatever, we just move around a bit, don't we? So, and that's how it should be. So we will move around a bit. But I do want to look at the AI thing a little bit more until I get bored with it, which is not far off really. But it's a bit of a concern. I think it is actually.
It's like scrolling. Stop scrolling and read more. Because most people, you sit and you scroll through news and social media stuff. It hurts your brain after a while. You just have to put the thing,
it does.
the device down.
Well, I'm not. I'm just looking for articles on it, really. Sort of things and stats on it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And I go off and I'm just thinking about what it really means. It's very weird, is this thing. I'm finding it. All the other things have been sort of like an improvement for human life, but this is sort of like the removal of it. It's like we don't need anybody to do anything again, or at least that's the implication of it.
Well, look at the robots.
So
they're bringing robots out now that they will be able to do your housework. Wait on you, basically, hand and foot.
So what you just go. Well, you don't actually need to live now because all the tasks can get done, and that seems to be sort of it's a very strange thought. It's very odd. So there's always been sort of challenges for each generation, or and something to recover from or to deal with. But if everything gets done, what do you need to get out of bed in the morning? If you don't, would you actually get into it? If you don't have to get out and get into it, is there any point you breathing in and out? I don't know. There is, but of course, this is all part of the agenda. It's making.
What do you think?
We'll find things.
Now, for example,
I think the good news that I would just want to share with everybody, slightly going off topic, is that Sky Sports are showing 257 Premier League football matches this year. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody. I still think it's not enough. I think it should be 1,000. They should show every single match, which is about 300, and get every league. I think we need a channel that's just literally 24/7 football all the time, particularly with lots of punditry in between, because that'll make the world a happier and better and more intelligent place. Surely, right? You can't have enough football.
Well, why not have it like they had in the 70s, where you'd watch a fight and a football match would break out? I mean, that's basically what
that's the hockey match up in Canada. Same deal.
Yeah. Did you ever see? Talk about ice hockey. Did you ever see that? That's on YouTube as well. When 1968, when the former Soviet Union invaded Czechoslovakia, and it just happened to be the year, I think, of the Olympics. And the Czechs hated the Russians, and there just happens to be an ice hockey match between the Russians and the Czechs, and it was like World War III. My Godfather, you've never seen an ice hockey match like it. They were so aggressive to each other. Whoa, they're going in full blast. But that's actually that's on YouTube. You can actually see it, and
they're notorious for that.
Yeah.
Hockey games.
Mm-hmm. Canada's famous for that, isn't it? But
they say that it's worse in the States because our hockey rinks are smaller than the European-sized ones. In the European-sized ones, you can get away from the other players quicker, and you have more room to flee. But in a smaller rink, it's not so easy.
Yeah,
a very un-ice hockey phrase. Flee.
Fastest game in the world, apparently, ice hockey, isn't it? One of the fastest. I always thought table tennis. So have you seen these Chinese when they play table tennis? Bloody Nora, the speed they go. I mean, they're absolutely unbelievable. And I played table tennis against my dad, and he was near. He's quite. He got in Malta. I wouldn't say he's the champion, but he was close to it. And he knew how to cut the ball. You slice it. You slice the ball. It's like, choom. And what he did, he put a spin on the ball, so he knew how it's going to come back. So he just didn't stand earthly. He really was quite clever at table tennis. But I suppose we all got our different skills, you know. But sport, unfortunately, isn't one of my skills. I'm not really into sport.
Not to worry.
Never mind.
Not to worry.
That doesn't matter. But anyway, fellas, thank you very much for joining me here tonight. So you got, I forgot his name again. Was it Thomas
Anderson.
Thomas Anderson. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Is he part English or something? Because that's a very English name for a German.
That's a Swedish name, or Scandinavian.
Yeah,
That sounds
I can't tell you. He's a very secret squirrel, and I think we're going to have to keep it that way. I mean, he's a very well-published author over there. And, of course, his English is immaculate.
Does he still live there?
You can ask him when he comes on. I think he might be in Switzerland, actually, but he hops in and out of Germany regularly, along with a gnome. Probably has his own Swiss gnome.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So, yeah, but he's always got, lots of detailed things to say. So I'll be talking to him in the next couple of days. I'm quite looking forward to it. It's several months, maybe a year, as long as that, since he was on. I don't know. Time flies by.
It's been a while.
But,
Yeah, that's right. And you were
so that'll be
mentioning, Patrick, about a record. We could do something on old records one.
Yeah, you're saying that the last Friday of the month would be a good day for you. That'd be a good day for me. We'd do like a show where we spin some records.
Yeah.
Old timer stuff.
Yeah, well, that would
Friday
be pretty
Fockham
good.
Fun Festival. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah, it'd be good.
Yes.
Slap dead.
Well, when you hear the old records, they're far better. They relax you. They're very, very relaxing. But music today doesn't relax you. You're sort of. And have you seen that research they've done with plants? They reckon that plants hate punk, and no, they hate rap. If you play rap to a plant, it doesn't like it. But if you play nice sort of Mozart and that, the plants grow better. Did you see that research that they've done?
I'm aware that plants like good music. They've got good taste in music. Yeah, anything that's heavy and sort of it just surprise. And it's doing the same to us. So we'll respond in a very similar fashion. Anything that's sort of moving up into the lightness of light is noticeable. And anything that takes you down, into the darker keys, it makes you feel a certain way. Music is ridiculously powerful because it's all about frequency. The old frequencies, isn't it?
Frequency.
So,
and we forgot to mention tonight, Paul, that we're also going out on Soapbox Television. We forgot to mention it.
Yeah, well, I've been testing it. I don't think anybody rocked up to see it. I did put a little sort of thing.
I tried to sign up. It didn't send me a confirmation email like it should have.
Right.
That might be the problem. Anyway, that sounds interesting. Soapbox Television. So that's right.
We're soapboxtv.net. It's just it's another video platform, but we'd be in charge of it, and it's just in anticipation of not being here anymore. EXO signed up. Hi, EXO. Yeah, well, I've been testing it. I don't think anybody rocked up to see it. I did put a little
sorry
about
thing
that.
out. I tried to sign up.
So it's working okay. I think it's been working okay, but I want to do a test, so I need to sort of like get 10 or 15 or 20 people. Let's see if the server falls over. Apparently it shouldn't do that. It should get better the more people that watch it.
Right.
But it's just me sort of belt and bracing for the future. As many people are aware, we've got draconian no free speech laws moving in imminently all over the place. It's tiresome, really, and we want rid of it. So we want to. I'm just saying, if there's a bolt hole and it works, then we can move there. And it's got a good chat thing anyway. So I see that EXO came over and had a look, and not a lot going on there, but that's cool that he did. And so thank you, EXO, for doing that.
Thank you, everybody, tonight for coming on. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Patrick. Anything you'd like to say before I shuffle off to hit the hay, as I say? So
no, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. Just thanks everybody for tuning in tonight, and look forward to your company hopefully on Thursday or whatever you're doing, and
excellent.
We'll keep the conversation going, bouncing across these shows. So it's all good stuff. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
And thanks, Patrick.
Tomorrow I'm going to do an interview with E. Michael Jones.
Are you?
This hour.
Cool.
Yeah.
E. Michael Jones. I think is he right? He's been banned from Great Britain.
I don't think he's been banned from Great Britain. No, but
no, you're banned from Great Britain, Eric, and so
I am. Yes,
we're banned.
I am, because that's why we're in Fockham. Oh, by the way, thank you, boys. Love listening to your chats from the Queen's Legs.
Yeah,
Public House. Yes, yes. So
You
Queen's
can
leg-
always hear a good sound, good conversation coming out of the Queen's legs, can't you?
That's right. Yes, that reminds me of that. No, I better not say that joke. That really is filthy. But there is one about that. No, I can't say it. That's a blue one.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's been great tonight. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you, everybody in chat and all our viewers. And remember, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh. Please put the old thumbs up and subscribe. It's free of charge, and tell others. And also, if you want to find out any more, join the old Telegram chat as well. And you've got one, Paul, as well. You're on Telegram as well. And so have you, Patrick. So the three of us are on Telegram.
Yep.
So there
but
we go.
we're at your Telegram channel too, so go there. It'll be
That's
good.
great. Thank you very much. And just leave it to say good night.